Hello and welcome, friends. I'm James, and this is Opcost Games, where I share games with you and hope that you'll find a game that you love. Today, we're continuing our Arydia campaign. So we've played this in kind of three and a half sessions so far. One of our sessions was a little scuffed because of some technical issues, but this is episode 4 of our campaign. Before we get into that, I just gotta say a quick thank you to Cosmic Beat. Thank you for that subscription. I can't believe 14 months, I think it said. Maybe it said 12. I don't know. Long time in any case, and I appreciate you. Thank you so much for supporting me. So, back to it. Also, Risto. First, I like to see it. You were right in there before my chat wasn't even set up, but you were there. So, appreciate that. Now, back to business here. We're playing Arydia. Arydia is an open world adventure game, and I decided as a personal challenge, I was going to try and get us started here without blathering about it for 10 minutes, which is, if you've been in the stream before, you know that's tough for me. So basically, Arydia is an open world adventure game. We have created 2 characters. We got a bard and a rogue, and we're going to continue our adventure where we left off. So last time, we died. We died a horrible, horrible death. So in Arydia, we got this world map here. This is like our party marker, which shows us kind of where we're at. And we just take these tiles. They can be flipped out as we explore. So these are all ones we've explored so far. This is the one we're on. We're back at the Exiles camp, which is where we started last time. Okay. You'll also remember from last time that I lost my notebook, so I made a new one, okay? And basically, we know that in C1 up here, we're expecting to get ambushed. C3 down here, we're in tall grass, and we might have to fight a stinky giant animal, but we were too weak to do it. So instead, we went up here to D1, where there are many rats, and we died. So most games in the, it's a super like RPG trope. Welcome in, Trombone. Appreciate you. Thanks for that lurk. Most RPGs have like a total trope to where you go like clear some rats out of a cellar nearby, and we went to do that, and the rats absolutely crushed us. There was someone in chat who had mentioned that they had played Arydia quite a bit and play tested, and how the rats were surprisingly one of the more difficult fights, especially early, obviously, and how if you're unlucky, they're just really hard. And we were exceptionally unlucky. Our friendly rogue here, Slake, on 3 of his 4 rolls in that fight before he died, he rolled a natural 1, which is just, you miss. Doesn't matter. You do nothing. So he tried stabbing the rats and simply failed. Our bard, Drudar, did a little bit better, but that's being pretty generous. So I think we decided last time we're going to continue where we left off. We're going to go back in this game. It's not very punishing when you die. I mean, we experienced that for the first time last time. You basically kind of reset and continue on your merry way. And we're back at the Exiles camp. Excuse me. And we are going to go back and clear out that nest of rats if we can. Okay, half of it is cleared. So there's just the one kind of boss fight at the end. But who knew that 5 rats, one of which is very big, would be so challenging to our adventurers here. I did not, but let's get to it. So we put our Exiles camp piece back in. We're basically all kind of stocked up on everything here. We've got our armor's all repaired, our potions and stuff are ready to go. I think they're supposed to be fully reset. Can't remember. We got boons at the end of last time. Basically, I think you basically start over. we're going to play it like that anyway. I didn't make any notes in that regard. And we're going to start by heading back to the winding shore and just kind of, you know, tracing our path back to where we had been last time. So the first thing we'll do here is we're going to take a travel action from the Exiles camp over to Reguld Junction. So, oops, you don't need to see that. You want to be over here. So when we're leaving this way, there's a little signpost there. We essentially flip out a card from the travel deck, which the first obstacle, getting the cards out of the box. These boxes are very full. Once a couple, like a deck or two is out, it's a lot easier. I think we're supposed to shuffle this every time. We definitely added some new travel cards in here. So we're just going to do that. All right. So we're going to flip this over. We're going to look for the matching little signpost icon and see what happens. Low spirits, except for us, our spirits are high as we travel along. How can I get this camera to stay? Nobody's going to care. That's okay. Looks great, doesn't it? All right. So we just discard that travel card. Nothing bad happens. Generally speaking, what would happen is we would have to spend SP or potentially exhaust one of these travel tokens. Well, that didn't happen. So we just traveled to Reguld Junction. Now we could take any of the actions here. On this particular spot, there are no actions. You can see them over here. These little things, I think they're probably quite hard to see on stream, frankly. But those guys are the actions that we can take. And this one basically doesn't have any. It's just a little waypoint where we can travel further. So we're going to do the same thing. We're going to travel up to the winding shore here. This is another little signpost. We're on the road traveling. And this time we've got a growling stomach. All right. So you're so hungry, you need to take a break and eat some food. So we each pay 1 SP. If we choose not to, we go to famished. Okay. So we're gonna pay that SP. We can now then eat some sandwiches out of our flying fish knapsack that we got here. This is something we received from helping out in Felsworn Village. That will get us some SP back. This was something I wanted to reconcile last time. I don't know if one of these, I think it just grants us 1 SP to anybody. I don't know whether we have to use that in combat or not. I don't think so. Thematically, it makes sense that we could eat our sandwiches right now. That's literally why we were stopped. So we're now in Winding Shore, and we can take the actions that are shown on this tile. That includes this one, which is to go to medium 1. So got a stack of these tiles here. I am getting a little concerned about these. As an aside, it will be interesting to see. It is very dry where I live, like extremely dry, and we have issues with games warping and that sort of thing, especially things like this, like usually double layered boards. These are triple layered, and I'm concerned about them. These tiles are also, they're not really tiles, they're just sheets, like cardboard sheets, but they're starting to get some bend to them. And the reason I'm concerned about that, I don't really care from a gameplay perspective, but I am concerned that this all basically just fits in the box and it's exactly where it fits, and there's no extra room, on the assumption that these are square. So in the event that they're all, twisted out an inch, I don't think it's going to work. And getting this back in the box might become a little adventure in and of itself. So that should be neat. But we'll get there when we get there. What sandwiches? BLT? I would, yeah, sure. I feel like they'd have to travel well, so they were stored in our backpack. So maybe, you know what? We're just gonna say they were tuna because it's a fishing village, and thankfully we picked them up recently. So they're not, we survive. All right. A small house. You see a small cottage, smoke coming from the chimney. It appears peaceful, but you feel apprehensive as you approach. Okay, so this is where we were. I should have left that covered over because I'm pretty sure we completed this event last time. Event 210. Yes, we did. All right, so I left this, normally we would leave this face up in the little packet there in order to indicate that it had been cleared and there was nothing more for us to do. I failed to do that. I think I did it with at least one of the tunnels with rats in it. And I thought that there was NPCs on here, which is why I hadn't done it for these, but oh well. Light pours in through the kitchen window as a fire burns merrily on the hearth. The scent of fresh baked bread wafts across the room, way nicer than greasy half-day-old tuna. A woman looks up nervously as you enter. All right, so there's the NPC. So we did speak to her last time, but we can talk to her again real quick, just to jog our memory. A young woman is here, fretting about something. Oh, sorry for the scream. You must be from the guild. I asked them to send someone to help me. Help me remove these pests. I'm afraid I don't have any squills, but I could give you a reward. I suspect the reward is fresh baked bread. Let's ask her. What's the reward? I don't have any squills, but if you help me out, I have some delicious home baked goods. So that gives us a RP point. I feel like we probably took that last time. I'm just gonna omit that. Playing this a little fast and loose. But basically, the baker wants to give us some fresh baked bread. What could go wrong? Hey, we died. We're walking in. We're doing like the corpse run, basically. Like we're walking back to our still warm bodies in the basement. She doesn't seem to notice that she's seen us before. And you know what? We're okay with it. We're okay with it. So we're going to go down the stairs here into small number 2. So we come down these stairs here. And we're out into this cave. If I was being really pedantic, I would be, putting these, are actually moving our characters along on here, but we kind of went through this last time. Now this one, I did it correctly here. So this hallway, this corridor here, I left face up, okay? Because last time we were here, we came and defeated all of these foes. These were rats, okay? And something that we'll talk about real quick while this is here, some of these areas have these like double lines on them. That basically means that this is a difficult space to pass. It takes 2 movement instead of 1. Some of them have these black lines, which are probably a little hard to see on stream, but those are like impassable, right? So there's a little movement system here that we can use, or that we have to use rather, and enemies have to respect it too. So with the fight we did in here, for instance, that is not right. I'm crazy. I can't line these up. With the fight in here, we these more difficult spots basically meant that these foes that were down here didn't engage with us in combat right away. We got to kind of deal with these ones first, which is why we survived this fight. In the next room, it was less pleasant to us, right? It was a little bit rougher. So we're gonna, come check out what's to be found on tile medium 2. You can tell from the low number that these are the introductory things that are supposed to be really easy, but we got our butts kicked. So, infested cellar. The rats have made a small kingdom here. Nests and scraps of treasures they've collected and piled high. The stench in here is sickening. And then you see it. A rodent of unusual size. Dun dun dun. All right, so this is our little cellar here. Okay, all kinds of junk all over the place, and this guy over here, that's the baddie. We know it. So what we're gonna need to do now is set up this combat. I will say that while Arydia, excuse me, I'm enjoying the world and the exploration system very much. It does feel like a throwback to other. I mean, I guess it happens a lot in campaign games, but this game makes me think of Arkham Horror, where when I think of Arkham Horror, it was like, 13 decks of cards, the game. Like there's just a deck for everything, for randomization and things like that, right? And what that meant is that you spent a fair bit of time like bookkeeping, right? Where you are where you're just working on finding the correct cards out of the deck and that sort of thing. And it feels like sort of a bit of an inevitability. But I feel like other modern games have kind of done away with that a little bit. And I don't know. I wish there was just a few, like a little less bookkeeping here. That's my only misgiving about Arydia to date. All right. So we need a giant rat. You know what? Let's just get this stuff out of the way. This is the only space we care about. We enter this room. There's a crew of rabid rats. And a giant one. Also, this figure box, I have been spoiling it. So I opened this at the side and pulled these figures out because when I pulled this out of the box, this is how it looked. It's a box. You open it up, you pull the figures out, and it was like, oh, don't open until directed. And I thought, well, that's kind of like weird. Like you mess it, you spoil it. But no, you can actually just open all of these individually and spoil nothing. I just failed to do that. So we got some rats. I will say the minis are at best okay. It's cool that they're painted. The sculpts are extremely basic. The painting is likewise. And they're extremely typical board game minis. Some newer board games have like, crazy detailed miniatures and that sort of thing. That's not the case here. I don't know that that's super necessary. I don't think it's negatively influencing my gameplay or anything. Just worth noting. So yeah, here's a normal rat. And here is a rat of unusual size. His head is as big as the other rat's body, basically. Monster. So this guy killed us. Like, unapologetically, he whipped us with his tail, and we died. And, like, it didn't take long either, right? So he's going to start over there. We're going to use these little colored rings to help us distinguish which rat is which and which order they resolve in. So all of them are numbered down here. So like this is number 1, number 2, and so on. The boss, conveniently, is number 0 over here. So whenever things are resolving, they resolve in like numerical order from lowest to highest. So we get the joy of resolving the boss first, followed by the other rats. And the reason why that's significant is because in combat here, the rats, these guys are going to develop threat on this track over here. And that's like a currency that they spend in order to take actions, right? The more they have, the worse it is for us. And the boss spends first, and the boss's moves are the big boy moves that killed us last time. So, all right. Let's take a quick recap of how combat works in Arydia. So, we're on the map here. We can run we can stay and fight. We can run, but we're not gonna. Okay, we're gonna stand our ground here. Okay. But essentially what's gonna happen here is we're going to alternate between a foe turn and then our turns. And essentially this is sort of like the way the combat in Arydia is balanced. I don't know that, it feels like it would probably just be straight easier with more players. But essentially, because we alternate, like one player turn, like our rogue activates and then foes activate, and then our bard activates and then foes activate. So with any number of players, if I was playing with 4 players, every 4th turn would be mine, right? And there would be 4 foe activations in between. Whereas if I play with 2 players, like we're doing today, every other turn was going to be the rogue, for instance, and there's going to be 2 activations. So it works out kind of like proportionately, but we are splitting up. The number of foes doesn't change. So in terms of our ability to sort of like soak damage and so on, we have a total of 9 health, whereas if we were a party of 4, we'd probably have a total of, 16 to 20, right? So it's probably a little bit harder with fewer characters, but we're going to just we're just not going to worry about that too much. We're going to give it a go. Okay, so our boss mob is here, or our boss rather, not a mob. Our mobs are here, okay? We are going to be doing foe turns with these cards, okay? So these cards are the threat deck. Every turn, we're gonna flip one of these out and resolve what it says. So like this one, for instance, we're gonna give 1 threat to the enemies, okay? Now, threat is the currency that they spend in order to take actions. It tells us on these cards here, this is like the AI card, what the actions are and how much threat it costs. They always take the action that costs the most threat, and the more threatening actions are way, way, way worse for us, okay? So we generally want to dispatch them quite quickly before they have a time to accumulate threat and take actions. When these cards say like mob or boss on them, this one says all foes, all of them would activate. If it said mob, all 4 rats are going to activate, not just 1. Okay. So, I think we start with a foe turn, but honestly, I don't remember. Let's double check real quick. You know what? I should have just looked here. Combat 20. Shuffle the threat deck, blah, 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 blah. Foe turn. Okay, cool. So we drew a threat card. They gained a threat. And then one of us gets to take an action. So we're just going to start with our rogue because he failed us so spectacularly last time. Okay, generally, we're going to be taking actions, either minor, that's this little marker here, okay, or major, or normal actions. I guess they're not major. Okay, we get to spend all of these action markers each turn. Anything that's marked here with a cube, we basically have to kind of spend that cube in order to take that action. And in most cases, we can do that once per combat, sometimes only once per day or once per time we rest or things like that. Okay, but like for instance, we can throw our throwing knife here. Once we've thrown it, it's gone. Like it's in the wall over there, or hopefully in the rat corpse, right? So that means that we there's a lot of things we can only do kind of occasionally. We have armor and stuff that's going to protect us from damage, but most importantly, essentially, we get to take our 3 actions. Now, we are a rogue, We are best when we are...
Been a while since you had a drink.
best when in the shadows, hidden. Okay, so like we can sneak, for instance. That's one of our abilities. You're hidden. Okay, an unfortunate thing about things like sneaking is that we don't actually we can't do that right now. You can see here, it shows us that basically we have to have no enemies in the spaces adjacent to us, but there's a rat right in front of us. So we cannot sneak, okay? We also can't move through enemies, so that's a little tricky for us. But that's okay. It's okay. We can still stab them in the face with our practice dagger. And something that I had intended to resolve last time, but forgot about, is can I take the same action multiple times in combat? I don't remember. Martina, you're a doofus. I feel like the answer is yes. Okay, yes you can. I double checked. All right. So, we played that way last time. We're gonna try stabbing this guy. Okay, now we know from the base that's on this mini that this is actually rat number 1. Okay, it's this guy. And that's significant because we're gonna track their damage individually, and the way that they kind of take damage is a little bit different. And often it applies to the it'll change the amount of threat that they have. All of these rats have a weak point on them. If we hit that, we kind of piss them off, and we add additional threat to the board. So that's bad. If we were skillful, we could kill these rats in like one hit. But we aren't that skillful, it turns out. So all of these cards show, I should have just shown you guys this. They show a little pattern here. Okay, so in this case, it's these 3 spots. This guy has 3 health. Okay, this spot here is like a crit spot. So when we're attacking, each of our abilities shows like a pattern on it, right? So we have to attack somebody who's directly in front of us with our practice dagger. Okay, if we do that, we roll and check dexterity. If we get 2 or more, which basically means we didn't roll a 1, which we did 3 times out of 4 last time we were here, we do damage in this white spot here. If we get 12 or more, we get this white spot as well as this gray spot. So we kind of hit them with this upward slash with our dagger. Okay, so that pattern is really important for how we apply damage. And if we go through these orange spots on the board, which I should have left this here, then that's like a crit. And so like if we did a left to right slash where we hit these 2 spots, we would also apply damage to this spot, and we would just like one-shot this guy, and we would be happy. Okay? Sadly, we are not that skillful. We will not be doing that. Must be a skill issue. You didn't even use the skill issue redeem. You suck. Did you spend all your points? I bet you did. I bet you did. Okay, I want to check something real quick here. Just before we get too into it. I'm just trying to see about the attack pattern and whether or not it has to be in a certain orientation or not. It looks like no. The examples here are really not that great. Oh no, okay. So they just like for no particular reason, attack patterns cannot be rotated. There we go. Just for no particular reason, they made this like more like there's an icon on here, little arrow, and they don't do a good job of actually if it's directional or aimed. Okay, so basically if there's an arrow like on this guy over here, it determines where we have to kind of start our first hit. Whereas there isn't one on our practice dagger here, so we can start anywhere. But we do have to always strike up and to the right, which is literally exactly wrong for these rats who only have one spot missing. The only one we could possibly ever hit by striking up and to the right. So that sucks. Our rogue is bad at this, but that's okay. Okay. Such whimsical adventure music. I agree. It's probably not, intense enough for our threatening fight here. I could try and find more, but I don't think we need that level of production value, especially because I'm struggling just with the rules there. Okay, so listen, what we're gonna do is we are going to attack this rat. The rats. The rats. Oh, wow. Here, let's see them. There's the rats. You can see them a little better now. The rats, the rats. Man. They really, almost give me enough information on these reference cards. This will be easier once we've played the game, a couple times. We only did combat once last time. We died very fast, okay? But, I really wish they gave us a little bit more info on the reference cards than they do, right? For instance, if I'm attacking, is that a normal thing? It's called basic. Does that mean I can use my, little... normal minor action or no? A basic attack is a normal action. A basic move is a minor action, just to be confusing, because why wouldn't they do that? All right, so let's do a basic attack. We're attacking with our practice dagger. We're attacking this ugly rabid rat that is right in front of us. We have a super useless up and right attack pattern. We got to roll for it. We're checking our dexterity. We get +1 to this roll. Basically, we're going to hit no matter what here. We got 13 + 1, that is 14. So we have, on 12, we hit up and to the right. There is no way for us to actually damage this rat more than one time with that attack, which is a shame. So, we are going to attack here. We're going to hit that spot. And the reason why is because we have our practice kunai, our throwing knife. Okay, this guy down here. And it has a range of up to 3, and it can attack quite usefully one and then the one below it in a vertical line. Okay, so if we do a good job, we can kill this rat with it. Okay, so we're going to try that. We're going to attack it. It is also a dexterity check. Okay, it also gets +1. We got an 11 + 1, that is 12. We need 12 or higher to do our 2 damage. So we perfectly succeeded at this. Okay, we can attack there and then down to there. I feel like there's something about ranged weapons at low range being goofy. But I don't remember what, if anything, it is. Range or minimum range. That's what it is. Minimum range. We better be able to do this. Okay, yeah. The bard has a minimum range on his bow. His range is exactly 2, but there's a minimum range. There is no minimum range on our practice Tonto. So we just killed this rat. He is dead, but we did hit his weak point, and that does increase the threat by 1. Okay, but we did manage to eliminate the rat. That is huge. And that also means that we are not adjacent to anybody, which means we can take our sneak action. Ooh, we need a combo point to do that, which we do not have. So we won't be doing that. We'll take a minor move action. A minor move gives us a combo point and 3 points of movement. We can move over here, where hopefully these other rats are going to come attack our dude with the most health. That's our bard, and leave us alone. That's our hope. That's our hope. All right. Let me check something really quick. I don't know. You know what? This is high tech. All right. I wanted to make sure YouTube chat was getting captured correctly. All right. 1 rat down. 4 rats, including a boss, to go. So that was our turn. We did use our 3 actions, essentially. We do another faux turn by starting by flipping one of these. Okay, so this is mob or 1 threat. So mobs activate, or alternatively, if there aren't any mobs, like say only a boss, for instance, the threat tracker would go up by 1. So it does not go up, and instead our mobs activate. They activate in numerical order, ascending. So we start with 2, and then 3, and then 4. Okay, and they spend threat. They spend as much as they can, and whatever they spend, they only have to spend it once for all of them to activate, which feels extraordinarily punitive, but that's okay. So, unluckily for us, if we had no threat, they could only move 2 and then bite us. Bite is a attack that they're going to do with the yellow die. Okay. Sadly for us, they have 2 threat currently, so they're going to spend 1. Okay. And they're going to do the sort of better bite action. They have 5 points of movement, and then they bite. Okay, so this guy here is going to move first, and he's going to move essentially as little as he can, and then bite us. Okay, so he's going to do 1 point of damage. He's going to use the yellow die to do it. So the way this works is this die shows like a little grid, which you can see that grid matches quite nicely with the grid over here. Okay, so the spot that's shown in black, that's where the attack hits. Okay, the yellow die, it looks like all of the spots are kind of on the bottom because they're rats. They're little ankle biters. They're gonna attack us low down on our body. Okay, this rat literally bit our feet. Thankfully for us, we're protected by our moldy shoes. So his bite does 1 point of damage, and our moldy shoes block 1 point of damage. But they only have one durability, so they get used once and they're used up. If we get a bit on the toe again, those shoes, they're not going to help us at all. Okay? So, that was rat number 2. Now we have to do rat number 3. Now, rat number 3 has a bit of a further journey here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're gonna choose. He's explicitly targeting the person with the most health, which is the bard. So he could move here and attack us, but we can pick from either of those 2 squares, essentially. So we're gonna choose the easier option because we got our butts kicked last time, and this fight was hard enough anyway. Okay, and then rat number 3 here is gonna 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So they're all crowding in. I don't think he's actually adjacent because he needs to be like orthogonally adjacent in order to attack us. So overall, that worked out not too bad. The rats are crowding around the bard. We don't love that for us. One thing that we have avoided so far that really killed us last time is that if this threat track gets all the way up to here, then all of the foes do 1 additional damage on all of their attacks. And that happened like almost immediately last time. There's like 1 or 2 cards in here that are like 3 threat, and we drew them right away. And then all the rats were hitting us for 2 damage, which basically like, you know, we died immediately. So anyway, that didn't happen. We're happy. Now it's time for our bard to get into this fight. Okay? So our bard has a practice stinger, a little crossbow, but it can only be used at a range of exactly 2. So he is not going to be able to use that right now. He has a practice tanto, which can actually hit multiple spots on the rats. It doesn't work out super well in terms of how their crits are. So we probably can't. We can dream of one-shotting a rat, but we can't actually do it with this. Okay. He also has a couple of abilities here. So he has an Anthem of Vigor. Okay. His Anthem of Vigor gives us health and SP potentially. SP we can spend at certain times, like for instance, when we're doing a basic move, we can spend SP to move further. Okay. He has a Gutsy Dash, which we spend. It's a normal action requiring combo points, but it allows us to move and then attack, which is kind of cool. Potentially letting us put up a little bit more damage or get to a target that we just didn't quite have enough to get there. Okay. And he has a Battle Riff, which allows us to reduce the amount of threat on the track. Now, we got absolutely skunked by threat getting too high last time. So I think that we want to use our Battle Riff a little bit later here, instead of say like our Anthem of Vigor or something like that. And our loot, we can really only use 1 time for combat. When we rest, we can, you know, we're ready to use it again. So we got to be a little bit careful with that. So I don't think any of these rats are easier for us to kill than the other ones, right? If we look at them, our Tanto hits like kind of down from the top left corner, okay? So whether we smack this rat or this rat or this rat, in all cases, we are going to be able to apply 2 points of damage, but not 3. And in each of those cases, we're going to be adding threat to the track. So we probably just want to try and end one rat's career here. So we're going to do that. We're going to attack the rat directly in front of us with a practice tanto. This guy right here. Okay. So same deal. We add charisma. We don't have any charisma. We are the least charismatic bard you've ever met. And we're just going to roll this, and we really want to get 12 or higher. Okay, we got 12. We'll take it. So we're going to apply 2 points of damage in that downward pattern. So we're going to hit here and here. Now we did hit that weak point, which is going to increase the threat track by 1. Okay. Now there is, I mean, we could just battle riff at any point here. We're unlikely to succeed at our battle riff, honestly, for more than reducing the track by about 2 threat. But it is a normal action. Like, it's going to be a while before we're able to do that. But I think we should instead, if we just get rid of the rats, because then if these guys activate, we're not getting bit 3 times, we're getting bit only twice. So why don't we try to get rid of this rat by using that practice Tonto again. Okay. So we just have to not roll a 1, basically. We rolled a 5. That's fine. That's fine. We hit anything kind of on the left here. We just kind of thwack this rat. And he too is dead. So we have one final action left. We probably want to take a basic move action. I think we kind of like, you know, we are on this thing here. I believe we're able to go back here. We're just going to assume that we can, and we're going to kind of strategically retreat a little ways. Mostly not because we actually care about moving, but we want to be able to get these. I wonder if I can do that. Can I do that? I think I have to like exit. You can run away, but I think you have to like, you know, really run away in order to do that. Let's see. Let's get this right. Exiles can flee the battle. Yeah, you got to run back to the stairs. Must be adjacent to a hex pointer that leads back to the world map or stairs that lead back to a previously explored thing. And then declare your intent. Okay, so we're just allowed to run away. So we're going to run away to here. We were here and we get... How many points of movement do we get? 3 points. We can run away all the way back to here. So these guys come towards us and our rogue can do sneaky rogue things. We like that. We like that. All right. This is better combat music. A little scarier for us. Okay, foe turn. What are they going to do? Oh, it's the card I was telling you about. They gain 3 threat. That's really bad. Because they're going to spend all... Or, I mean, we don't want them to get to 7. 7, bad. Bad. But they didn't move or anything. So our rogue is kind of ready to go here. And he actually has kind of... I thought he had a great opportunity, but he actually doesn't. He has the opposite of a great opportunity. He can backstab... but only if somebody's on their own. So that's sucky. All right. So let's see. We can't hide, but we could move into the corners and hide. Now, I'm not sure how useful that is for us. That basically allows us to do a huge attack, which is going to be a lot better on this guy than it is on these other rats. It does 3 in a straight line, and we get plus 20 to it. So we basically hit for at least 2 as long as we don't flub our roll, okay, and get a 1. So I think overall, probably we don't want to do that. Now, I mean, we could go and start putting up points on the boss. That is an option. for sure. He's big and gnarly and mean, right? If we take a basic move and then a sneak action, I think we could move into position to attack him. But is it better to just kill one of these rats? I think getting rid of one of the rats is probably the way. They're right in front of us. That boss, I don't know. It's going to basically take us a full turn. Maybe let's move, attack a rat, and then we can... we can't do that either. We can't sneak away. I was thinking here. We have 3 actions. 3 actions is exactly the wrong number, because it'd be great to move, attack, and then sneak. But we can only do that if we're not adjacent to anyone. So the only way that would work is if we moved to here, attacked this guy, and he died, which we objectively cannot do with our current skills. So how are we going to manage this? Maybe we don't attack the rat. Okay, so let's think this out. If I move, I could like move over here. And then I could sneak. When I sneak, I gain 3 movement, which would allow me to move to here. I'm directly in front of this guy, and I can stab him. I can backstab him directly in the teeth. It's not much of a backstab. Okay, we're doing that. We're going to take a basic move action, okay? We go to here, we gain a combo. Perfect. Okay, we're going to take a minor action to sneak. That costs us that combo that we just gained. That gives us 3 movement, and we are hidden. As far as they're concerned, we are right here where they had last seen us. Okay? If we make an attack, somebody moves into our square, or anything like that, we lose our hidden. So we should just use it right now to take our backstab action. Okay? This requires 1 MP, but if hidden, we get plus 20 to a roll. So this attacks from the top down 3 in a straight line. We get plus 20 to our roll. Oh my god, we did it again. I think this, like, I'm beginning to think that this die is like unbalanced. Like, I've rolled this dice about 6 times. It is a D20, and we have had 4 1s out of 6 now. So that is deeply beating the odds. But we will suffer our consequence. So basically, we probably lost the scenario because we rolled a 1. Because that, like, you know, we used up our hidden. We're no longer hidden. We're right in front of the boss. We spent our whole turn prepping for that, and then we got nothing out of it. So that's super anti-fun. And I like the idea of, hey, natural 1s are always a miss, and natural 20s are good for you. That's cool. That's good. Some randomness is nice. When we totally beat the odds on the very first scenario of the game, less nice. But anyhow, we will suffer our consequences later. And I bet you this is 2 threat, and they all get plus 1. Okay. Oh my god, this scenario is awful. So they all get plus 1 to damage for the entire rest of combat forever, and we probably just lost. So that's cool. So they didn't do anything except that when we get to the limit break, they also all activate, and I think we probably lose in 2 turns here. So yikes. The die is totally trolling you. I agree wholeheartedly. Okay, limit break. All right, all foes activate as if an all foes threat card were activated. So basically, we got one tapped last time by the boss, right? So he's going to spend 5 because he activates first to do a whip plus 2 damage. So he's going to do 4 damage. To be clear, we have 4 health. So he does a whip plus 2. Whip already does 1. Plus 1 for the little modifier from the threat break. Plus 2 because he's really pissed off and has lots of threat. So he will literally kill our rogue in 1 hit if we don't roll one of the spots that has armor. Okay? And he's going to target as many people as possible. Okay? So his whip hits in a straight line. But we're spread out in such a way that he can't hit more than just our rogue. So he will just attack our rogue. He's going to attack with the blue die. And if he hits any unarmored spot, we just immediately die. Full to dead, 1 hit. He does hit our right shoulder, so we're dead. Like, God, this... Yeah... It's interesting because like this is like the first fight you do in the game other than a practice fight against a practice dummy that doesn't fight back in the scenario where it tells you how to resolve it and you don't actually play it. You just kind of go through the motions. And I feel like I've had, 2 turns, 3 turns. We got about as lucky as possible other than that one, and now we probably lose immediately. I thought about this earlier, not with respect to Arydia, but randomness in games is something that I appreciate, but it should be the icing on the cake, okay? I want tactical combat to feel like I have agency, and 95% of what happens is because of choices I make, right? And then that 5% is the icing on the cake. Sometimes a choice goes wrong. Sometimes I have a spectacular win that I wasn't anticipating rather. Basically taking almost no actions and then immediately dying to the boss is not icing. like that sucks. All right. We will nonetheless continue because in 3 turns we managed to put up 6 points of damage, and we just need to do another 15 with 1 character who's probably going to die before he gets a second turn, while not while everyone's doing extra damage. What could go wrong? All right, so our boss is done, and our rats will activate. They will spend the 1 remaining point of threat to target whoever has the most health. They move up to 5, so they're going to move and they're going to bite. So he's going to bite our dude. He hits the spot that doesn't have armor, so we take 2 points of damage. And then this guy's going to move 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exactly enough. He too shall bite us. And he hits our moldy shoes, which no longer work. So we have 1 HP remaining, and we have to do 15 points of damage. And if we do everything possible and we roll perfectly, we can do at most 6 per turn. No, sorry, 4. So we have to make it through. We've survived 3 turns so far, and we have 1 HP left out of 9 total. And it's going to take us a minimum of 4 more turns in order to defeat this. So that's not going to work. I think we can just call it here. We die, right? It doesn't matter. We can at best kill 1 more rat, and then, we get attacked a single additional time and we're out. Right? Now, there's things we can do. Like this guy can once per game do what's called a surge, where he stands up and, takes or once per combat, I guess, takes a full action as though he had a normal turn and whatever. But it's actually it's even worse than I said, because it's exceptionally punitive, because we resolve his turn like normal, but he can do nothing. So we get 2 faux turns for every turn that our bard gets. So, yeah. I think that we just lose here. And frankly, I'm not sure exactly what to do. I feel like we basically get some like pity money, and like maybe we can go and like purchase some gear somewhere or something. But this feels honestly like, as a new player to Arydia, this feels like bad scenario design. This was kind of confirmed by somebody in chat yesterday or last week that essentially the rat scenario, you have a really high chance of failure, and RNG is a big, part of whether you're going to succeed or not. But overall, it feels like it's not like we're close. It's not like we're on the cusp here. We almost got it. We twice now, I like have essentially, I do almost nothing and then I'm dead because I could have used my battle riff, but there would have been an extra rat on the board and they would have ended up with a ton of threat anyhow. And I can only do that once. And at the rate we're going for chipping away at them, I don't think it's not like we're going to kill them faster. You know what I mean? Or before they get to 7 threat, right? So I don't know. I guess I could try the combat again. I will say both times we have top decked like almost the same scenario where usually the mobs are activating more, and there's only these 2 cards are the only high valued threat cards in the deck. In both cases, we got them in the first couple of cards. Perhaps that's why this scenario was so tough. I don't know. But like, yeah, just getting like the fact that before we get a second turn, we can get one tapped by the boss in the very first scenario that you actually play seems a little bit excessive, right? Like that's just, I don't know, like a little wild to me. It happened last time too, right? Like, okay, we're going to try this again. We're just going to reset. I'm not going to go through the motions of dying and gaining 3 money and whatever. We're just going to try this fight again and see if we don't top deck those 2 cards together, which happened both times, which caused the limit break, which is the real problem. Like if they were doing 1 or 2 threat actions and we were taking a little bit more damage more consistently, I think that would be okay. Maybe them getting +1, them doubling their damage and then all activating is extraordinarily punitive, right? So we'll just reset. We'll try again. We'll see what happens. We'll pretend we just walked in here. Our moldy shoes are not busted. They don't have any bonus damage. Our actions are ready to go. We've got our kunai back. I can try and play smarter. I mean, I don't even have an opportunity to hide with my rogue and like put out some traps or something clever. I feel like this scenario specifically prohibits me from doing a lot. Here, we're going to try and just game it a bit. We're going to put the bard first, attacking the rat. And we're just going to pretend this all foes thing didn't get we didn't top deck that. We're going to cheat to make it through this first scenario, because I think getting the all foes card on the top was specifically one of the things that was mentioned in chat last time is probably you'll lose the fight, right? Okay, so the boss is going to activate. Boss has 0. He attacks. He looks for the highest valued target and chomps him. He moves up to 6, highest health. He can't get to the highest health target, but I think it's fair that he's just going to attack our rogue. This is for 2 damage, unfortunately. So, sucky. But whatever. He rolls this die. He attacks kind of the middle of our body. You only hate RNG when you have bad luck, but James usually has. I mean, that's not true. Like, I would say it's more common that randomness is used for like negative effects than positive ones, right? And I think that, yeah, it feels good when you like randomly win or something. But if I had some super move where one time out of 100, all the enemies die, that's not going to feel satisfying either. And one time out of 100, it's not even one time out of 100. 2 for 2, we get one tapped by the boss and immediately lose the scenario. Also not fun, right? Okay, so he's attacking our friendly rogue here. And he's attacking our feet. So we just take 2 damage. We're half dead on the we haven't had a turn on the very first intro scenario, and before literally anything has happened, we haven't had an opportunity to do anything, and one of our party members is half dead. And that was after cheating to make it easier. Like, I don't know, man. Anyways, our bard is going to do things. He is going to smack this rat in the face. And he's going to be really happy about it. Okay. So, we're checking charisma. We want 12 or higher. We rolled a 9. We're going to spend our RP point to make that a 12. And we're going to hit this guy for 2. That's going to piss him off and add to the threat track. And then we're going to do it again. We rolled an 8, and we don't care. That's 1 damage. This rat is dead. Okay. And then we are going to move over to here and gain a combo point. All right, mobs are going to activate. So they have 1 threat. So they get to move 5 and then bite. So this guy activates first. He is targeting the person with the most health, which is our bard. This guy's going to move and bite us. He's going to bite those moldy shoes. Jerk. The blue rat is going to activate next. He's going to move over here and also bite us. Also in the shoes, but we're going to actually take a damage. And then the pink rat is going to move. And we are very surrounded and bite us also in the shoes. And we're going to take another point of damage. So the good news is we get to have our rogue take a turn. The bad news is both of our characters are half dead already, and we have killed 1 out of 5 enemies. So, James killed a rat? It's true. You got this. This time will be different, he says. This time will be different. I don't think so, my man. I'm feeling a bit tilted. This scenario so far, has felt like, I don't know, like maybe I could cheese it with traps or something, but just overall, it's felt really unsatisfying, you know? Okay, so what's our rogue gonna do? He can attack the boss, but that doesn't help us. We gotta kill rats. Like we're not gonna kill the boss anytime soon. And we really need to kill rats. Many, many whelps. I mean, we could do 5 points of damage to the boss, but then it works out like exactly wrong where his remaining points of damage are all spread out on the corners. So I don't know. We don't have any clever moves on this guy either where we can... I mean, we can shadow step for free. Okay, we'll use up our shadow step. That lets us move up to 2. So that puts us right beside this guy. And then we can stab him in the face. Okay. We're a big fan of that. And we're going to roll for it. Charisma. 13. Okay. We stab this dude. We're happy. We're then going to use our Tonto. We're going to throw it at this guy, just like last time. Okay, we got a roll here. We rolled a 4. The only thing we needed to have happen was to get 12 or higher. We can add +3 to our roll. We cannot do that with what we have here. So we still do a point of damage, which is cool. I should have started with the Tonto, actually, because then I potentially could have one-tapped him. This rat in particular. So that was a bit of a misplay, but I failed anyhow. I can't attack him for the final thing. And the best thing we can do is we can run away. We can move away and gain a combo point and hope that this is better. Oh, look, there's our 2 threat card. So in good news, these rats aren't going to immediately kill us. In bad news, they're going to kill us next time. All right, it is our buddy, the Bard, turn. He's going to take a minor action to swig this chip potion and gain a health. And then he's going to smack this rat in the face. The rat that should be dead, but isn't. We rolled a 6. That's okay, because it's enough to do the 1 damage we need to put this rat down. Sadly, that's going to give them a threat as well. And I think we're going to take this opportunity to just shoot an arrow. We can't kill one of these rats this turn anyway. And we're likely to add to the threat level if we attack them. So we're going to use our practice stinger. It has a range of exactly 2. We are 2 away from this boss. Okay, so we're going to shoot him. Checking intellect, we actually get to add 1 to this roll, but we really want a 12 here. We got a 13 plus 1, 14. Okay, so we do 2 damage. I think we have to... This arrow thing wasn't well explained. Honestly, they gave me like 7 examples, all of which are really similar. Okay. So we basically just choose a spot and work from kind of bottom to top. We could just apply this 2 damage to the boss like that, and we're done. Okay, our bard did it. He took some actions. He didn't die. The boss activates. Perfect. That's what we wanted. Boss spends as much threat as possible. He's going to spend 3. He's going to take a chomp action on whoever has the highest health, which is our bard. And he gets +1 damage, so he will do 3 damage to the bard. He's just going to come corner us. Attack us with the gray die. Ah! We're going to block 1 of the 3 damage. We only take 2. We're still alive. They have no threat. That's huge. Unfortunately, the thing that largely not having threat, like what that prevents them from doing, is moving, and we are literally surrounded right now. So it's less helpful than it seems. But maybe there's hope yet. Thank you for that follow. Appreciate it. All right. So it is Slake's turn. What are we going to do here, boys and girls? We are going to take a minor action in order to hide. Okay, we spend a combo point. You're hidden. 3 movement. We're going to walk on over here in front of this guy. And we're going to spend that 1 MP. I didn't reset it. Whoops. To backstab this guy. Big backstab. Plus 20 to our roll. If I roll a 1, I'm throwing this game in the garbage. We rolled a 3. Oh my gosh. Okay, it's not a 1. It's not a 1. Okay, we're going to spend our RP to make that a 6 so that we get 25. It is deeply sad that that needed to happen, but that's okay. This allows us to put up some big damage on this rat, okay? So we do 3 damage with our backstab, actually. 1, 2, 3. And then because we passed through this crit spot, we actually do a 4th damage over here. The boss has only 3 health remaining. Just pretty huge. It'd be great. Maybe we can just put him down on our bard's turn. Okay, now doing that is going to increase their threat a bit, but so far we've managed to hit him without increasing the threat. We're just going to, while we're here, we're just going to smack him with our dagger. We got a 10. That's enough. That allows us to put 1 more point of damage up there. Aim it wherever we want. Okay, he's got 2 points left. Now, that's going to take 2 separate attacks and increase threat by 2. But we can maybe actually kill this boss. So, that's huge. That's huge. We're doing it. Maybe Jack was right. I just needed to believe. All right, what's happening now? The mobs activate. Our bard might die here. He probably dies here. All right, they spend 0 threat, but they just move up to 2 and then bite. And they are targeting the person with the most health. They actually can't get to the other guy. The boss is blocking their way. So I think it stands to reason that we're not gonna like have them just switch targets all the time. Surely they're just biting this guy again, right? They're gonna bite us again. They bite us. And they don't hit us in the feet, so we actually block this one. But now our clothing is all busted up too. And then the next one's gonna bite us, and he bites us in the same place. We take a point of damage. We're down to 1 HP. Just 1. Yikes. Okay, but importantly, it is our bard's turn. So this is our moment, right? This is our moment. As a minor action. Well, this only helps everyone in loot range, and our range is only 1. So we could heal, but it would only help us heal us. Basically, it wouldn't actually heal our friend. Okay, maybe we just punch this guy in the face, right? We're gonna use our practice Tanto. We roll an 11. Gonna do damage. Increase the threat by 1, because it's a weak spot. And we're gonna do the same thing again. We rolled a 12. That would do 2 points of damage. I guess actually strictly this would have been here. I could have killed him last time if I'd done 12 in one go. I should have paid. Oh, I don't have any RP. Anyways, whatever. The important thing is that we're going to put this on here, add 1 point of threat, and the boss is dead. We killed him. He's dead. I think we have to continue combat until such time as they all die. All foes are defeated. Okay. We still have a minor action. Honestly, I think what we do is we take a move action. That's going to get us a combo point, and we run the hell away. We get 3 movement out of that. And additionally, we can pay our SP to get 5. We want to hide behind this guy. Is it worth the SP for that? You know what? We're gonna go way back there. We're miles away. Miles away. The vibe on the music increased. Everybody's happy. The boss, well, the boss is dead. Sucks to suck. So they gain a threat. Okay, it's our rogue's turn. So we can. It's looking winnable. It's looking winnable. We just got 2 rats to kill. A rogue is particularly bad at killing rats. Okay, but what he can do is be a sneaky jerk. He can spend a combo point. He's hidden now. They think he's over here. He has the most HP, so he's probably the target, and he can move. He can move a couple, and he can put down his traps, right? Traps trigger. I think he has to put them down around him or directly in front of him. It seems goofy that I can't put down traps as I move. Like, I want them to be relative to where I am traveling, you know, not where I stop. But I think that that's not the way they work. Okay, I can only use it while hidden. Once or twice, place a trap token on an empty adjacent square. Okay, so why are we listening to this? Happened last time. Okay, we're fixing this. We're fixing this. This. Okay, I regret everything. I got to do something better about my adventure music so we don't end up with row, row, row your boat. That's not doing it on this rat fight. Okay, fixed. So we're hidden. We start here. We have up to 2 move. We can just move 1 and then put these traps down like here and here. Or here and here. These guys are going to end up walking over there. They think we're here. And then we can just remain hidden and take a move action. And we're just gonna walk on back over here. We're all gonna hang out way back here and let the traps do their thing. All foes activate. Okay, that's not any worse than mob because there aren't any extra foes. So what is bad is they have exactly 3 threat, which means that they frenzy. So they have 5 movement. Okay. And they are targeting as many people as possible. Now, they can't actually hit both of us with the frenzy because it attacks in like sort of a orthogonally adjacent kind of way. It does do 2 damage though. This is going to be bleak. Like we could this could be the end of our career right here for sure. So the blue rat is going to activate first. He has 5 move. And he's going to target... They can't... I guess he's going to try... He's going to try and attack this guy because he's the closest one. Okay, that's generally the way it works when there's ties. So he's going to move 2, 3, and trigger this trap. The trap does damage up and kind of left. It's this guy, I suppose. I don't understand the significance of this. This card literally doesn't make sense to me. You have to pass through this spot. I guess you could hit it that way. Never mind. I remember that from last time now. In any case, this guy triggers the trap, and that's going to increase threat by 1. And then he's going to move here, and he's going to trigger the next trap, and he is dead. So we eliminated 1 rat without having to stand face to face with it. But now our next rat is probably going to come attack us. Now, does it attack where it thinks we were? How does that work? Foes believe you occupy the alert token square. You lose hidden and remove an alert token. If you make an attack, you're KO'd. A foe moves into your square or the token square. A foe tries to attack the token, or the token would leave its square. Okay, so this guy's going to move 1, 2, 3 and attack. He thinks we're right there. And he whiffs his attack, but we're no longer hidden. However, there's only one rat left, and it is our bard's turn to get involved. It's time to get involved, bard. He can probably kill this rat. He can probably kill this rat. On principle, he's going to use this chipped potion. Ah, that's a minor action, though. On principle, he's standing beside his buddy, and he is going to sing an anthem of vigor to really make us feel ready for the rest of this battle. There is one remaining rat, and we need to feel ready to go. Ready to get involved. All right, so when we're playing an anthem thing here, we it shows us on this square, like these are sort of our targets where these notes are, and we roll the dice that our loot provides, red, blue, or yellow. Now, we only get a red and a yellow die from our loot, and we rolled exactly in the middle and missed everything. So these don't match the pattern on there. So we rolled 0, but all exiles in loot range gain 1 health or 1 SP. So we're going to gain a health. We're feeling vigorous. And sadly, that probably means I can't actually kill this rat this turn, and that was probably a mistake to do. But that's okay. That's okay. We'll just feel badly about ourselves and, you know, resolve that some other time. So our remaining actions, we can attack. We can do a gutsy dash, but a gutsy dash allows us to move exactly 1 and then attack with a Tanto, which doesn't help us. We need to move 3. So we basically are stuck doing a normal move. 1, 2, 3. And then we're going to attack this guy. We rolled a 7. Not fabulous, but it allows us to do 1 damage. So it kind of doesn't matter where we damage him, because our rogue is going to need to put up a couple of attacks to finish this guy off. But that's okay. That's okay. We increase the threat by 1. We hit his weak point. Boss activates. Or we gain threat equal to the number of exiles. We gain 2 threat, and then our rogue gets to activate. This is his opportunity. It's time. He can sneak. We can spend that last combo point of ours. I didn't gain a combo point last time when I moved. Whoops. He gets up to 3 movement. He's then going to backstab this guy right in the ugly teeth. I'm going to pretend that I had assigned this in the correct spot, because I'm not opposed to cheating a slight amount to retconning where I had stabbed that rat. Because backstab does damage in a straight line. And we got a 16 plus 20 plus our dexterity plus 21. So we got 37, which is more than 25, which didn't really matter, but it does allow us to do damage in a straight line downward. And we kill this rat. Jesus Christ, that was ridiculous. Okay, so look, we did it. Despite all of my complaining, we did manage to succeed in that combat. I will say, I was really expecting a more introductory combat that was just like winnable. Winnable. You know, we win. That was hard. Another one bites the dust. Exactly. Look at you. We did it. Oh, it was a ton of work, but we did it. So, that said, what the hell happens at the end of combat? Let's figure this out. How do we do our rewards? I don't know. I think we can go open a path chest, which we've never had before, which is cool. I think we get the the rewards from the bottom. So let's just get this right. Victory. Gain XP rewards, saving special rewards for last. Okay, that's literally all it says. So for the giant rat, we get 1 XP and key 1. So the way XP works in this game is that when anyone gains it, everybody gains it. So that means 1 XP per character. Okay. And then we also gain 1 XP for the rats, the rabid rats. So 1 for the boss and 1 for the rats. So total of 2 is enough for us to level up. That's huge. It's huge. Okay. And we get key 1. Keys are like ways of kind of closing loops, right? A key, it's going to tell us a name or something like that, a location. When we interact with that in the future, we get to do what's on the card. So this is probably going to tell us the name of Vera Odell, the lady who we were here to help, right? I sound exhausted. Leave me alone. It's a giant rat tail. A giant rat tail from the giant rat you killed in the cellar. Gross, but it should act as proof of your deeds. Keep this card in the party inventory until you find this exact text. Help me remove these pests. Well, who do you think said that to us? So we're just going to set that one right here, and we're gonna take a look at that in a little bit. Now we do need to make a little loot roll here. So our lucky bard is going to roll. He rolled an 8. That sucks. Means we get 1K. Strictly speaking, I should probably have 3 extra because we died and just reset and did it again, but whatever. We're not going to bother with that. We're going to pretend that that didn't happen. Now, there is this path chest here, which we have never found a path chest before. So chests. I think that means we get to open up the little box for one of our guys. So when you gain a path chest, each exile gains 1 item at random from their corresponding path chest. Okay, so we found a path chest here. Huge. So the path chest is, we're like the, the path of shadow and the path of inspiration. So the bard is the path of inspiration and the rogue is the path of shadow. So this is like a literal little chest that's in the box. We've never looked in this. I think there's like a bunch of tiles in here, and we get 1 of these at random. So I don't know how to safely or how to fairly randomize these. Well, that's not working because it's the wrong thing. Okay, what are we gonna do? We're gonna say that this is right. I've got them in piles on the right and the left. We're gonna roll this. If it's 10 or lower, we'll pick the left. If it's 11 or higher, we'll pick the right. Ha! It's a 1. God, you should have known. Okay, so we'll put these ones from the right back in there. Okay, and then we're gonna do the same thing. We're just gonna shuffle these up, put 1 on the left, 1 on the right, and then we'll roll this again. 1 to 10 left. It's a 2. I should have known. We have had a disproportionately low roll out of this die. Like, I think it's literally, we've rolled it like perhaps 10 times now, and it's 50% ones. And you know, I think only 2 of those rolls are like 12 or higher. Anyways, what do we get? What do we get? What do we get? What do we get? This is very fitting. Yeah, of course. We got a notched dagger. So I already had a dagger. But this is a better one. So to compare it to our practice dagger, would strike from a point up and to the right. This one strikes from any point, and then it strikes up and to the right on a 12 or higher, and on a 20 or higher, it also strikes down and to the left. 20 or higher is quite a challenging bit to hit, especially for the way we've been rolling with this particular die. So in practice, in almost all cases, this notched dagger is actually indistinguishable from this, because unless we hit higher than 20, it literally has the exact same attack pattern. But we are going to level up. We could increase our dexterity to get some pluses to those rolls. That's the thing we could do. All right, we're going to do the same thing here. I'm going to shuffle these up. I'm going to loosely split them. There's like 5 or 6 things here. Maybe I'll put a small one. I'll cheat a little and put a small one on each side. So left and right, we're going to do the same thing. I totally saw that that was a crossbow. I don't know. We're going to roll this. We got a 19, the opposite roll, basically. So we're going to keep the items on the right. Oh, there was a loot in there. Okay, now this time we have 3. So we might have to end up doing it twice. I mean, I guess I could just pick one at random out of 3. It felt hard to pick one out of 5. It was, nah, we're going to do this again. It's more fun this way. We got a 10, so that's this. So we got a new stinger. Oh, okay. This looks cool. The bound stinger to replace our practice stinger. So this one, likewise, in most cases, identical. The range is the same. And in most cases, we're hitting this 12 or 12 plus, where the attack pattern is the same. But if we do hit 20 or higher, we get an extra bit of damage. That actually has the exact pattern where we could one tap a rat. That would have been really cool to have just a little while ago, but sadly that is not how it went. So, oh well, the good news is we have it now, and surely that will work. I would have, you know, a better loot or something probably would have been a little bit more exciting for us. We've got 2 weapon upgrades that functionally add very little. Later in the game, those will be really useful because as we level, we increase these stats. And unlike most games, sounds like you're feeling a lot better. Quick hello before I have to head south. Oh, I thought you were already south. Thanks for stopping in. I don't know that I feel... I'm feeling a little bit better. Not as much better as I would have liked. So there's 6 stats here, okay? And unlike most games where when you get like an upgrade to one of these, like we add +1 to it, when I get like level 3, I decide to take wisdom, then my wisdom just gets set to like +3, right? So it basically just gets... I can't remember if the numbers are the same or one lower than what you have. But basically, here, we can look. So we're currently level 2, or level 1, rather. Okay, at level 2, we spend 5 XP to get to level 2, and we just set our stats. We only pick one of these things, but we just get to set one of our stats to 3. Okay, so we picked endurance last time. We picked endurance on both of our characters and have literally used it for nothing. So currently we're gaining no bonuses on wisdom or strength on this character. Dexterity is sort of our primary trait, right? That we use on most of our weapons checks and so on. But just always taking it every time isn't actually helpful. Then we're getting like +1, where we could pick something else for level 2 and then something else for level 3, and then our dexterity ends up at +4 the same as if we had leveled it up multiple times all along the way. So, some choices there, I guess. Okay, we found our path loot. We got our key. Let's go talk to this lady. Okay, we can pick up our traps and reset anything that requires out of combat. We get our kunai back.
What's with all this slouching?
All right, John, I'll try my best. Honestly, I was kind of getting beat down there by those rats. I was getting a little... The tilt was real. The tilt was real for sure. Okay, let's talk to this NPC. So, we know we're going to do this key. Someone to help me remove these pests. So we get to resolve this key right now. Okay, so the way that this is going to work out is we're going to draw event 4 and key number 1 gets banished. It's gone. Baked goods, as we guessed. She's given us some baked breads. She doesn't have a squill, which is what we want in order to, like, you know, survive and no longer be exiled. But we'll take bread. We're not over that. Thank you so much. I don't have any squills, but I've made you something. She has you sit at the table and serves you freshly made sweet rolls frosted with blue icing, the RNG icing. They look delicious and you can't wait to eat one. Let's look around first before we eat. Oh, dear. Okay. We decided to look before we ate. You pick up a roll and begin to inspect it. Vera notices you hesitating and drops something on the ground. An eruption of pink smoke fills the room. When the smoke clears, Vera is gone. So we actually get rid of this room A and get instead room B. The fire on the hearth has burned out. The room is cold and empty. The woman calling herself Vera has vanished. Okay, so there's just nothing here now. Damn. Add job 4 to the job deck. Okay, we can only have one job at a time. We already have one. We've never made any progress toward like doing anything with it. We'll drop that in there. NPC 3 gets banished. See you later, Vera. And gain 1 experience, then discard this card or banish this card. Okay, so we have 6 XP now. We definitely have enough to level because we need 5 for level 2. Rad. Take it. Okay. That was different than we expected, for sure. Certainly different than I expected. We're going to put all these tiles away. We're going to put them all face up so that we know that there's nothing left here. Means we can't do this fight again. Not that we would want to be clear. Do I feel a lot stronger after that fight? Dear God, no. We gained weapons that largely don't change anything for us. Do I feel like maybe we can go like sell some stuff and buy some upgrades or something? Maybe? I don't know. But yeah, we can't game the system by just, you know, grinding and doing the same fight multiple times. We have to go experience new things, which is great because we're on event 4. This is the event deck. Like there's like 200 cards in here. You know, we got lots left to do. Good news is our pacing will increase a little bit as we get more familiar with the system. I feel like I had a couple of questions about combat and stuff that didn't help us move swiftly, you know? Okay, I'll put these faux cards away in a little bit here. But we did it. We helped somebody. We didn't even get the baked goods. Wait a second. The bread was like poisoned. We didn't even get to enjoy it. It's bull crap. Don't like that at all. Okay, so we're gonna take a second here and just look at what else we have to do. Honestly, what time is it? It's 1 o'clock. I did not expect that fight. I thought we were gonna walk in there. We're gonna have a little bit better RNG, not top deck those high threat cards, and we were gonna just like sail through that rat fight. Instead, it took us 2 hours to defeat the rats. The person in the rat house was actually a jerk and tried to poison us. And we're, teetering on the brink of death and need to probably go rest up a little bit, So let's take a look at what else we have on the go, because we do have a couple of keys that we need to figure out, and we do have a job. So let's just look at those real quick. So there are keys that are a little different. Each character, like generally keys are shared across the party. Each character has one key that's specifically for them. This is the one for our friend Slake. We have to look for this person, Gorlane Skell. Okay. I don't know anything about that. And we want to get a bracelet. We've got this bracelet. That's our key here. And I think I actually put the other things in the party deck where they're supposed to go. Imagine doing that. So this is all stuff. Okay, here's our job. Gather birdroot. My supply of birdroot is running low and I can't make my tea without it. It's not difficult to find. Just look for yellow flowers growing out on the sward. I just need you to bring me a basketful. So we do wisdom checks in order to do this, and then we take it back to Fellsworn Village. We have never found the place where this needs to happen. We tried, but we failed. We have a sealed letter, okay, that we decided we're the good guys. This was from an old man who was dying in an ambush. We killed him. We gave him a clean death, but we decided not to read his letter. Hey, John. Look at that. Comments on YouTube, they even work. I can see them. All right. And we have this key, which is for the bandit hideout, which we know. So the fields here, this is where we found that guy where we got the letter. Here's where the ambush is. We know that. Definitively. So that's what that key's about. Oh, and then this one is a squill for us. We have one squill. And then some boons and stuff. Okay, so the sealed letter needs to go to an old, to Lyaku the Dryad in Rivertown South. If I had to guess where Rivertown is, I'm thinking it's down here somewhere. And we still have to gather birdroot, which we have no idea where to do that. Okay, so let's drag our beat up rat killing bodies back to the exiles camp. I think at the exiles camp we can pay a little less in order to take town actions. Like we can go to the apothecary and stuff like that for free, I think. Something like that. I mean, at Fellsworn Village we get our flying fish knapsack refilled like that for nothing. So maybe it's worth going there. Let's go to the village. Let's go to Fellsworn Village. That gives us an opportunity to talk to whoever the hell wanted bird root, and maybe we can figure out where that is. I doubt it, but there's a non-zero chance. Okay, so let's travel back to Felsworn Village here. So we're going to travel this way. It's a signpost. A large cart is here, slowly inching along. You may draw NPC 41 or discard this and then draw again. Well, we're going to talk to the dude at the cart. What could go wrong? All right. Tark, the merchant. A small man is here pushing a large cart. He looks out of breath as you draw near. Oh, hello. I'm sorry, I'm afraid I haven't got anything to sell right now. It's one thing for those bandits to take all my merchandise, but it's just all kinds of cruel to run off with my mules. All right, let's ask him about the bandits. What bandits? Puckles, thievy, scaly beasts. They came and swiped it all. Thankfully, I was on my way back to Eastgate, so I was pretty empty. I made good sales down in Keepwick, what with the wedding and all. Worst part is, the bandits took my mules. Tell me about your mules. Poor mules, I don't expect to find them again. My guess is that the Puckles ate them already. That being said, might I ask for your help? Of course, we're happy to help. We, not only are we happy to help, but we have successfully killed rats and we only had to do 2 corpse runs in order to succeed. So we're basically the best adventurers on the face of the planet. Didn't get tilted either. Great, all I need is for you to keep an eye out for me. I need a strong pair of pack animals able to pull this big cart. Let me know if you see anything. That's it? We gain an RP, but we otherwise don't do anything. I'm surprised that that doesn't give us like, a key looking for some sort of, whatever. Find a mule or something, return it to this guy. But it didn't. So, that was kind of it. There's Puckle bandits, and they stole his mules and probably ate them. And we're going to keep a lookout. We swear we're going to do it. I think that this is going in the forget file. We're going to never remember that that guy exists, nor are we going to be able to help him. But that's okay. We're in the Northern Plains now. We're going to travel to Felsworn Village. We're going to use the travel action again. Same thing, signpost. The journey is difficult and your spirits sag. Each exile pays 1 SP. If you don't pay, go to downhearted. Okay, we're going to be downhearted then. We're going to exhaust that travel token. We don't have SP for each of us to pay. So we're just going to exhaust that travel token and call it a day. But that's okay. That's okay. We're happy. We made it to Felsworn Village. That's big. That's big. Now we can take town actions here. Okay. So town actions. What can we do? We've never actually dragged our butt back to town because all we've done is we've just sort of taken the, well, let's run it down and die approach to date. So guild actions is where we rest and level up. So that sucks because we came to Felsworn Village, which is not the guild, it's a town. Okay. So oh, does it tell us what the actions are on here? Oh, it does. Okay, so it costs us one. It costs us one K to fill all of our potions. Okay. I mean, we can get one for free. Only if it's fully empty, though. We want, whatever, we're just going to pay our money. But basically, we spend our entire reward from that whole thing just in order to get back to our, like, filled up potions. But that's okay. Okay, so we basically need to look at the point of interest card here to kind of really see what we can do. This is Fellsworn Village. Okay, so we can go to the inn. We can fill all of our knapsacks with cubes for $1, except we are friends here, so we get to do it for free. The Flying Fish Knapsack. We fill it up for free once per day. Awesome. Okay, we're gonna spend 1K. Actually, you know what? We're not gonna spend the K to refill our potion. We're just gonna leave it like that. Yes, we are. We already spent it. We're gonna do it. Okay, so we can spend one to rest. That will let us recover and all of that sort of stuff. But I think at the guild, we can recover at the Exiles camp. I think we can do that for free. Yeah, we can do it for free. The difference is that we don't remove threat cards from the deck, but we haven't actually added any threat cards to the deck. That happens when we get exhausted and stuff like that. But we haven't done that. So we're not going to rest here, but let's go to the market. Okay, so it says we can repair 7 if we go to the smithy for 1. We have 3 busted items. We can also sell our items for their K value. So I don't know if our practice items have any value. They do. Okay, because we have an old dagger, an old knapsack, and a greasy cuff. We don't need these anymore. So we can sell these 3 items for 3K, and we can sell our practice stinger for 1. So we get a total of 4. Nice. Okay. And we can go to the armorer. Purchase available stock. So, the armorer. Let's see how this works. Some towns sell 1 or more pathless items. The first time you discover each town, draw a pathless item of the matching tier for each armorer slot on the card. You can purchase the available items for the price listed, gaining that item. Items for a town are never redrawn or replenished. Okay. So you can purchase an item that you previously sold for double its K value. I mean, I guess we sold these things, but like, I don't think so. Okay, so we get a random wood pathless item. We're not doing the rolling stuff here. We're just gonna shuffle these up as best we can and pick one. What are we gonna pick? We're gonna pick this guy. What's that? A gnarled whip. You need charisma to use a whip. I'm not gonna read into that too much, but for $3, we could purchase a gnarled whip. Now, I mean, we did just upgrade. We need to keep a loot for our dude here. His practice Tonto. This is, you know, I guess we need a Tonto in order to do our gutsy dash as well. So it doesn't really help us to purchase a gnarled whip. That really just limits our ability. We can no longer do our gutsy dash then. And it's not really better except in scenarios where we roll 20 or higher, which is not likely to happen soon. So we'll just leave that there. We'll not buy it. And we will just store that with it in the box here. And we'll call that a day. Because it never gets refreshed. They will always be trying to sell us that gnarled whip, rightly or wrongly. All right, so I think we're done here. So we can't travel directly to the Exiles camp, but we can travel back to the Northern Plains, get another signpost. Ooh, this sucks. The journey. We're downhearted. Exhaust this token, then if it's already exhausted, we're miserable. Add 1 copy of Threat 90 to the bottom of the threat deck. Okay, well, that worked out exactly wrongly. I will say the travel system in this game feels like super arbitrary, right? It's tough out there, but, you know, if we had just drawn any other card, nothing bad would have happened. And instead, combat, the hardest single thing, is going to be harder for us now. And, you know, the way we get rid of that card is we go rest at and pay for it, like at a place where we just left. You know, so we got that exactly wrong, basically. There it is. Threat 90. What do we get? Exhaustion. Lose a normal action this turn. Well, that's not so bad. Anywho, we're going to go down to the Exiles camp. We're min-maxing here because we want to try and level up, and also we wanted to save $1. By saving $1, we ended up costing ourselves there, but that's okay. It's a lightning storm. Well, this happens no matter what. Okay. Lightning begins to strike. You grow more concerned the closer it gets. Each exile checks endurance. Okay, so the good news is we have +2 to endurance. We got a 19. That's a 21. You stay calm and endure the storm. We gain an SP. We can't actually take it. That's okay. And a 13 +2. That's 15. You stay calm and you endure the storm. That we got the SP back. Had we had that SP, we also wouldn't have got that travel thing in the deck. Anyways. Okay, after resolving the check, if a Feelish is in the party, draw key 158. I suspect that they are extra scared. They're cats. They probably really don't like it. But then we banish this card. I find that surprising. Huh. All right, we only do that once. Gone. Okay, we made it to the Exiles camp. We did it. We succeeded. We live. So, in the Exiles camp, we can rest for free, replenish all of our stuff. Okay, we can also do path training, so we can level up. So, I think this is essentially what we wanted to do here. We can repair 5 for free, because we can do it once per day for free. And we can level up. So let's do that. So we are leveling up to level 2. Okay. This is one of the only things that's not resettable per se. They say, oh, hey, you know, just increase these things. Like just mark them with a, you know, pencil or something, and you can erase it. in order to reset it. I think that's sort of sucky, right? I feel like in the game of 700 cards, they could have just given you like 2 or 3 copies of these, and then you could just play it, mark it, and they would be resettable that way. And in the context of like you'd have less waste than the punch boards for the game, you know, it wouldn't be a big deal. But anyhow, last time we picked HP to level up, and I feel like we still have basically nothing. So we're getting to level 2. It's going to cost us 5 XP. So that means we have 1 XP left over. Okay. So we check 1 stat each level. So we picked 4 HP. I feel extremely low on HP. I don't feel like we use our MP very much at all. We can use it for backstabbing, but we can already do that like 3 times in a combat. That feels like quite a bit. So I think we take SP, because this is something where we're constantly running out of SP because we only have 1, and then we need it in order to, like, when we're traveling or for movement in combat or that sort of thing. So we're going to take SP, which makes our max SP from 1 to 3, which is a huge boon. Okay. And then we get to pick one of these attributes. So like I mentioned before, unlike lots of games where you just add +1, we get to just set it to that value. The value is 1 higher than our level, essentially. So we get to be level 2, and we get to pick an attribute to be 3. Okay. So it's sort of this weird thing where dexterity is the most objectively useful for us. Like our backstab checks dexterity, our dagger and our kunai, they check dexterity. Getting +3 to those rolls would be really nice. But at the same time, we occasionally need wisdom and strength, and we currently get 0 to those. So we get a bigger boon by picking like a diversity of things, right? Picking the same one overall, we're always gaining +1. We're getting plus whatever the level is, or if we pick different things. So I think we want to pick one of the ones we don't have. I feel like thematically, wisdom, come on. We're a rogue. We're not expected to be very wise, right? We should pick strength. So we're going to get strength of 3. Will that help us in any of our attacks and stuff? Presently, no. Are we going to find other things that we can use that require strength? Sure. And just like how we had that travel card that used our endurance, we're going to find occasional things that use strength, right? So our strength is now 3. And we get to also pick a skill to learn. I think you know what? Let's not miss anything. Leveling up, page 6. Let's make sure we get this right. So, okay, so we spent our 5 XP. We gained our SP. We replenish everything to full, but we're going to be resting anyway. I guess actually maybe we don't rest. Maybe we go out on a little adventure. If we mark 1 box on your player mat, adjust the corresponding max token, then replenish health, MP, and SP to full. Cool. Okay. So yes, we learn a new skill, and then okay, that's it. So what skill are we going to pick? Let's see. The Path of Shadow. So this is our little skill tree. Okay. And basically the way this works, you can see up here, this is one we picked. This was our shadow step, right? That was this one. But it starts like this. Okay, we haven't mastered it yet, and it gives us like a requirement. So in this case, we had to be hidden and end our turn adjacent to someone. and that lets us master it, which then flips it over, and it's now available. Now we can have a maximum of 5 skills, but we do get to trade them out and change them and things like that. So we've learned Shadow Step. Whatever else we learn now is going to not allow us to, like, we'll have to master it first. And there's like a little skill tree here, right? So we had to start with these skills at the left, and basically we follow the arrows here. So we have either Vicious Blade, Poison, Pickpocket, or Acrobatics as our available ones. And then they're all like, you know, trees that lead this away. So if we want to learn Eviscerate, we could learn Acrobatics now, and then we could learn Evade or Eviscerate later, right? So let's take a look at what these guys do. They have little references for all of the abilities on the Path of Shadow cards, and it basically kind of tells us based on their color, like tricks, no mystical force, just simple tricks and nonsense. So Acrobatics is a trick, right? And blades are orange things are probably going to be stabby stab, help us in combat, that sort of thing. So let's take a look here. Acrobatics, the next one in the tree that we chose there earlier. So we have a prerequisite of Shadow Step. Quick reactions let you stay nimble on the battlefield. It's a reaction that costs 1 SP, and after we finish an action, it gives us 2 move and gain a combo point. So that's kind of cool. Like that would be really big actually, because 1 SP, we just gained it, so we have 3 SP now, so we could actually use this, and moving 2 and gaining a combo point basically kind of sets us up where we're now, say, away from enemies and we can sneak, which costs a combo point, right? I mean, it essentially gives us a move action for 1 SP. It's pretty cool. But it's like, instead of actually taking the move action, it would the only thing that's unfortunate is we have to do it following a normal action. But for instance, we could like stab someone with our dagger, acrobatics away, sneak, and then backstab them. That's super roguey. This makes me feel like that we're a collie suddenly from League of Legends. That's cool. Okay, Vicious Blade. We need to have a dagger. We basically hit 4 enemies in like orthogonally adjacent to us. So that could be huge, because currently we're kind of stuck in this scenario where we can really only hit 1 enemy, right? So being able to position ourselves so that we could actually attack multiples, pretty huge. Poison lets us put out the poison token instead of a normal wound. So this guy, okay? And when a poisoned foe activates, we deal damage, piercing damage to a grid point adjacent to the poison token. So it looks like we can only poison once per combat. And it costs us MP. But like free damage on activation, we're often like a damage short, right? Where if we could just do 1 more damage, we could end that guy. Or for the boss, you know, putting a poison token in the middle of the rat, for instance, that would have done 5 damage over the course of his activations. I mean, he didn't activate 4 times, but the point is, poison could be super useful. Turns out all the skills are really good. And then Pickpocket. Only while adjacent to the highest initiative foe, we check Dex 20 plus 10 if we're hidden. If we're success, we place 1k from the supply on the foe's AI card. Basically, Pickpocket lets us earn more money. through an extremely contrived thing. We're not taking pickpocket. We don't care. Okay? It's not good enough unless the skill after it. No. Okay, so do we want to? Well, I think we any of these they're equally good, right? Acrobatics, stabby, stab, or basically free movement, right? Evade, stabby, stab, right? Or sorry, not evade. Vicious blade, stabby, stab. Poison, gentle stab, and they slowly die when they activate. And if we build into evade here, what does that let us do? When you're attacked, costs 2 MP, but when you are attacked, you check dexterity 12 on success, plus 2 armor for that attack. Success or failure after the attack, shift 1 square diagonally. Evade is wildly good. That would really let us like avoid damage, right? That's crazy. Okay, we're being a rogue. We want to we're going to take acrobatics. We're going to take acrobatics here. Okay. This gives us a specific wombo combo where we can stab, jump away, sneak, and backstab in one turn. Gives us the combo points to do it, and just makes movement a little bit more easeful. Or even finally, we could use it at the end of our turn where we just backstabbed or attacked or whatever, just to move away from an enemy so we're not immediately adjacent to them, right? Or things like that. Reposition a little bit. So we're going to take acrobatics as our next ability. Feels very roguey, on brand. And that means that we're going to take the actual acrobatics tile out of this thing. We pop it out of this. Okay. And we mark on here that we have not yet mastered it. One of those. Okay. And we put it on our skill board over here. It says, to master, move in a complete circle around a foe in 1 turn. So that basically means at some point in the future, we need to spend our whole turn moving, which, like, I don't know if I felt like I had the bandwidth for that in that previous rat fight, but maybe. Maybe. All right. So we're going to also level up our bard over here. Okay. So same deal, costs us 5 XP. We've already paid. Now these values are a little bit different, right? So we had picked SP, I think, the first time. So we have 2 SP. We have 2 MP. I mean, both our battle riff and our Anthem of Vigor require MP, but we don't really have an opportunity to use it that much, because we just we can only use 1, and then our loot is used up until we rest. So I think that maybe we actually take HP here, right? So we go from 5 to 7, so we feel we're significantly more tanky. That's basically going to make us the target most of the time. Okay, that does suck. Maybe I messed this up. No, we took MP. That's right. SP is also useful though. We could just take the SP. I mean, suffering through combat at almost no health feels like it's gonna come back to bite us. So we'll struggle with the SP costs for now, and we'll take the health. And then our other stat, probably we want to take charisma here, right? Because we can get something, set something to 3. We actually use charisma for like our Tanto, for instance. We use intellect for our stinger. It'd be nice with that increase for that to be better, but we're going to take the one we don't have, charisma. Okay. And we're going to set that to 3. It's a little more directly beneficial for us than strength was on the rogue. Are we building this? We're kind of like min-maxing here in a way that's sort of like we're getting the highest values out of this, but they're the least, like on our rogue. Strength 3, we went from 0 to 3. That's the biggest single bonus we could have got from that, but it's also the thing we need to use the least, right? So kind of a little iffy there, but whatever, we're doing it. And then same deal here, we get to upgrade a skill. Can I reach them? That is the question. Okay, so basically, same deal. We're choosing between improvisation, clashing chorus, care to dance, or lickety split. Okay, so let's take a look here. Improvisation. You must be holding a lute to use this skill. Costs 1 MP. We play a song. In any order, choose 2, 3, or all 4 based on the number of notes. One foe in loot range takes damage. 1 exile in range of your loot heals 2. 1 exile in range of your loot gains 1 SP, or 1 exile moves 2. Bust out a new tune without skipping a beat. So I feel like that's actually hugely beneficial, right? I think that we don't get to use our loot very much. So if we use it and it doesn't suck so bad. Oh, the loot only costs. It's a reaction to re-roll with our loot. We can use our loot multiple times, which makes a heck of a lot more sense. I was just mistaken about that. Okay, so that's good to know. We basically get 1 free re-roll on our loot. Okay, so improvisation makes our loot substantially stronger, which is interesting because there's a real opportunity cost with our loot where we usually don't have the bandwidth to use it, right? If we're doing that, we're not smacking somebody in the face. So making it better would just be straight up good. That also eventually leads into embellishment, which basically makes our RP way better. Whenever anyone gains 1, we get 1 too, and they give us +5 instead of +3, and we can use them to help other exiles. So it basically completely buffs the heck out of our RP, which is a way of us, adding to rolls all the time, right? So that's cool. Okay, I think improvisation already seems extremely good. Clashing chorus is a song or a skill. It's not a song. So we play a song. Basically, clashing chorus lets us do additional damage when attacking in the future. Play a song. When an exile, we set a number of cubes on our skill based on the number of notes we hit. Usually we hit 0, right? So I don't think that that's very useful right now. Care to dance. Costs us 3 combo points, which is a lot. Place yourself in an unoccupied square adjacent to a foe in 1 range. Target that foe with a basic attack. Place yourself adjacent to a different foe and target that foe with another attack. So basically for 3 combo points and an action, we get to do 2 attacks, which is pretty cool, but extremely situational. We need to have 3 combo points. There needs to be 2 enemies in range 1 of each other on the board. I don't think that's very good. And then lickety split. As a reaction, we pay a combo point and you get +2 onto a move. So I feel like often we want to move a little bit further, but we also regularly end our movements with additional moves where we could have moved 3 and we only needed 2. Right? So situationally that would be super useful, but improvisation stands out as the
been a while
clear
since you had a drink.
thing. Okay, Martina. Jeepers, that scared the hell out of me. All right, improvisation stands out. It requires us to have battle riff, which we do. So we will take that as our new skill. And just like on the other one, we'll boop it out of here and put it over there. It says as a reaction, we master it by as a reaction. We just master it basically the next time that we fail a skill or a song and get 0 notes. As a reaction, we can master improvisation. So we totally flub it, and that allows us to learn to improvise, which is kind of thematic. That's cool. I like that. We can't be quite as intentional other than maybe looking for opportunities to use our loot. Okay, so we leveled up. That all worked out pretty good. Just letting you know I'm still here and making sure you're taking care of yourself. Sounds like the sort of thing you would say. Okay, so we leveled up. Now we could rest and save, call it here, or we could continue on our merry way. Our travel things are, one of them is exhausted, you know, that sucks. If we get that one again, we have more SP to pay. We got to max out all of our things. We repaired our armor for free. We're basically just straight up like ready to go. And it feels a shame to then just pack up. You know, we've got some new gear. Surely we go do something. But I feel like there's a really good chance we end up in some combat. And then before we know it, 2 more hours have gone by. I caught some stream. Allison, welcome in. Nice to see you. Hey, I don't know how that one showed up. Did that package arrive? Tell me about what it's like to be a member of the underground. If you know, you know. Frankly, the only people who know are Allison and I, but that's okay. Okay, we're going to try and do some further adventuring on principle. Okay, so we have an opportunity to master our skills. We're going to go down here. We're going to see if we can find that river, whatever it is, for the letter. We're going to write that down as a note. Letter key. South? It was like River Bend South or something like that. I don't know. Anyways, we're just going to set out and see what happens. We can actually go directly to Heron Plains from where we were. It's difficult to find your way. Okay, we're going to pay that SP. We're even going to eat a thing to gain 1 back. Because we don't have a lot. We made it to Heron Plains. Do we want to go down or over to E3? We're just going to go directly down. So that's a signpost travel. You're so hungry, you need to take a break and eat some food. Okay, we're going to pay An SP. We're going to spend that thing to get one back. We have 1 SP on each of us now. We ate up all of our food. We still do have that travel token. Wonder if it's better just to use the travel token first. We do replenish all of them. Maybe let's keep our, let's do that. Let's keep our SP and just exhaust this and see what happens. I'm trying to min-max here. Okay, so where'd we go? Keepwick Outskirts. This is the place that they said there had been a wedding. That's what the guy who is traveling said. He said there had been a wedding. Oh, that was really weird. What was that about? Zoomed all odd. I haven't been home yet. It's thrilling. Thrilling to be a member of the Underground. Awesome. Okay, so we know that there was a wedding here, but this is not the place we wanted to find. Now, we can interact with it. Big 6. Surely we do. Let's check out what's here. I guess I really should have got rid of all these rats and stuff. I did not. Maybe we'll find more. Wouldn't that be fun? I mean, I think the scenario with those rats being really close together is what added a lot to that being frustrating. Okay, farmlands. A couple quaint houses stand here on the edge of the farmlands. You smell the rich aroma of growing plants and notice a garden near the smaller house. Okay, we're always hungry. Okay, so there's a couple of houses, small 11, small 12, and a point of interest down here, and an NPC over here. An NPC that often there's like a picture, but we don't know. We just know that someone's there. We don't know who they are. Let's go talk to them first. Let's go talk to them first. We found an old farmer. A dwarven farmer is kneeling here on all fours, delicately nibbling on the grass. That's a bit odd, not gonna lie. The farmer looks up at you, a clump of grass in his beard. You think you should greet him? Yes, I think we need to know what's happening. Hello, sir. How are you? He's pretending to be a cow. Moo. And we gain an RP. Odd. Not sure what to make of that. All right. Let's go over to this point of interest. Point of interest 21. A quiet tomato patch. I don't know if I've ever been in a loud or seen a loud tomato patch, but that's okay. You're standing in a quiet tomato patch. You hear the click of insects as they crawl along the ground. Those must be some big insects. The soft breeze makes the red tomatoes bob up and down on the vine. You smell the rich, nutty scent of dark earth. You know what? Let's embrace this. This guy's pretending to be a cow. Let's, take in the smells of the earth. The rich, dark soil appears to be freshly watered. Someone has been taking great care to grow these vines. Well, let's take a closer look at those tomatoes then, I guess. It must just be about time to harvest these tomatoes. They are bright red and seem fit to burst with delicious juices. Well, what of these huge insects that are clicking and clacking around down there? All sorts of insects creep and crawl here in the garden. Bees buzz to and fro, and just below your feet you see a trail of ants. You see the ants carrying bits of food and leaves along paths they've made. Following those paths leads you to find what looks like a freshly constructed anthill. It's quite large. We get an RP for that. Pretty low effort. We'll take it. Okay. I think that's about all there is to find here. Someone's nice garden that they've been tending to. We're going to take a wild guess that they're in this house, number 12. We're going to visit them first. They're the ones with the mystery cow outside, who I suspect by proximity are the ones who've been tending to this tomato patch. You feel an odd sense of apprehension at entering the overly normal-looking farmhouse. Great. Oh, there's a cow inside. Okay. Well, maybe the cow and the human have switched places or something. Let's talk to NPC 37. This looks like a mystery that needs solving. Maybe the cow will give us a squill if we, whatever. It's a cow. His demeanor is disgruntled and he's rubbing his hooves together. A cow stands here on its hind legs, a sullen expression on its face, rubbing its hooves together. Okay, get it over with. I'm sure you want to moo or make some joke. Listen, as I'm sure you can gather, this isn't how I normally look. I was cursed. I see you wear the brass exiles pin, so perhaps you'd be willing to lend me a hand. If you have key 23, we do not have key 23. So let's ask him. Let's lend him a hand. We'd be happy to lend you a hoof. If you take this to the garden and wave it about, it should take you to the ants. Go and see if you can get the source of their power. Gain key 24. The ants have power? Seems sketchy. A large ant antenna. The cow said to use this in the tomato patch. Are we going to get attacked by a giant ant? Because it feels like we're going to get attacked by a giant ant. Like, there's no way out of this that doesn't involve some ginormous ant punching us in the teeth. Right? Can you tell us a little bit more about that curse, cow? Well, I'm not quite sure what to say. You see, it wasn't a wizard who did this. I think it was the ants from my garden. They had built this new anthill, and there's something powerful in there. I tried to remove the anthill, digging it with the shovel. Just before I was cursed, I saw something glowing, like an amulet or something. I'm sure if you can get it, I'll turn back to normal again. Moo. Quite funny. I can tell you're a real wit. We abused that. We cheated it didn't cheat. I knew that would get us an RP. We're fine and happy with. Okay, we're just going to leave this handy, the cow. We're going to leave. We could go back to the point of interest, the quiet tomato patch, but I think it behooves us to go into this other house first. I feel like less of a person from having made that joke. Shelves of books stare down at you as you look across the room. Papers lie scattered over the desk and floor. You feel whoever's hovel this is must have an equally busy mind. It's a book-filled home. There is an angry-looking elf and also a point of interest. Let's talk to him first because it would be rude to enter someone's home and go looking around without speaking to them first, surely. Rifling through his things without even talking to him? No. All right. Clendence. An elvish man is here, surrounded by scrolls and tomes. He doesn't look up as you enter. Yes, I'm sorry, I don't work here, but the cleric is probably around here somewhere. I'm quite busy and have much to read before my colleagues arrive. Which colleagues? What do you mean? Fellow researchers Callis and Lyria are making their way from Eastgate. They should have arrived by now, but they must have been delayed. I don't suppose you'd be willing to help find them? Tell me about this cleric. Ah, well, this is Serrano, the cleric's home. You can usually find him around here, tending to people's wounds. Sometimes he takes little trips to help people in nearby villages. I don't keep track of him. Okay, well, we're not going to help them find people between here and there. That gives us an RP. We don't want to do that. We're maxed out. So we're just going to stop talking to him, and we're going to investigate this little point of interest and probably fix our music. I think we might be out. It's because I skipped like half the playlist when it started playing Row, Row, Row Your Boat. All right, point of interest 28. Maybe this will be insightful. It would have been really helpful to ask this wizard guy about the mystery ants, but that was simply not an option. All right. An odd home. Sunlight filters in through the window of this quiet home. There are bookcases lining the walls, scrolls and parchments on the desks and tables. The cabinets sparkle with an array of brightly colored bottles. Let's check out those bottles. Maybe there's something we can use. You enjoy looking through the various shapes and labels of the bottles. They seem to mainly be remedies for sickness and disease. Looking through the books, you notice many interesting titles. Trags, minor herbs and remedies, serums and tonics for wellness, and many others that mainly seem to be focused on healing. Okay, so it stands to reason here that this actually is the home of a cleric, and that this guy isn't lying to us. So surely our next move is to go fight some gigantic ants, because what could go wrong? Right? This is point of interest 21. What could go wrong? Found the quiet tomato patch, so we draw event 29. We're waving a giant ant antenna around. Changes. The giant antenna in your hand vibrates. You begin to feel a falling sensation as the world around you grows to enormous size. Ah, so it's not getting bigger or whatever. We're getting smaller. Fabulous. That makes me really happy. You gaze around at tomatoes the size of wagons and vines as big as trees. Draw small 13. This was a bad idea. This was a terrible idea. We're going to get eaten by an ant. An ant is probably a lot tougher than a rat, especially when we're smaller than they are. Or the same size. Giant garden. You breathe in the earthy smell of the garden. I did say I wanted to enjoy the earthy smell, but not like this. A giant shovel sits abandoned. You hear scuttling noises from the north and can make out a large clearing to the south. Note the staircase back to Big 6 on the other side. If you want to leave, you can. You can return here later by using key 24 to draw whatever again. Okay. So we can leave by walking over to the shovel, or we can explore the garden here. Well, I don't remember. I don't know if it told us which way the trail of ants led. Let's check out medium 13 here. We have not used a lot of those cards so far this session. Flower pots. Here you see large pots with flowers the size of trees towering up out of them. Ants as big as yourself are plucking seed pods from the tree-like flowers. They turn and look at you as you draw closer, their mandibles clicking hungrily. If you draw this Also draw and place big 4 if you haven't already, then draw event 309. Oh goody! Oh goody! We're gonna get eaten by ants. We're gonna get eaten by ants. Why? You know, when I said those like 7 times, we're gonna get eaten by ants. We shouldn't do this. This is a terrible idea. I should have listened. You find yourself gaping at a giant well the size of a pond. Tracks in the dirt seem to lead towards a large mound off to the west. Okay. Well, so there's a big ant NPC. Okay, we need space. These don't really exist, but that's okay. We are here. It's very victorious music because really what we're gonna do is like kill some ants. Rather, get killed by some ants. Okay, so there's a point of interest here that we will deal with later because first and foremost, there are 4 foes. Listening to funky music. These guys. All right, soldier ants. Not what I wanted to find. All right, 1 second. A huge ant scuttles about. Watch your back, or thorax. Hey, figure 35. This is a level 2. Oh, hey, we're level 2. I didn't actually mark that on here. So generally, we should be able to fight these guys. Kind of like WoW. Level 3 or level 4 is probably going to absolutely crush us. Level 2 should be okay, right? Okay, I don't think we need this right now. We drew it. We can see that there's points of interest. There's an NPC over here. Okay. I don't think we can talk to them when we're in combat. But we do have these mobs, these soldier ants. Which look very pissed off. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, 3 is like the super strong soldier ant. They're a little bit different. These all have 4 spots on them. Not right now, or slider cam. These all have 4 on them. This guy's got 6, and 2 of them are armored. So he's like the head ant. He's kind of in the pot. He's a little further back there. Okay, so let's get these figures out. Figure 35. They have huge antennae. I suspect that this is a necessity with the board game stuff for you know, having them not break or what have you. But these are like massive antennae. They're as big as the thing's legs. Bigger, maybe. It looks almost like a spider, but isn't. Okay. So we're gonna need these same little discs from before. Should have put these rats away. All right, ant number 1 is hanging out right there, waiting to punch us in the face. Ring does not want to fit. All right. Ant number 3. That's rat number 3. What am I doing? This is the big boy. The armor. He's up here. It's a little more difficult for him to leave the pot, which is pretty okay for us because we want to deal with the other ones first. Ant number 2. Oh, I used the wrong color. Okay, whatever. I will forgive myself for getting these backwards. No, I won't. This is actually Ant 2. This is Ant 1. Almost switched them as if the sculpts were different, but they're all the same. That would have been really dumb. Anyways, and this is Ant, Menacing Ant number 4. Dun dun dun. Ah, ah. All right. So, this sucks. Oh, they have huge movement too, especially with low, threat. They're going to be like all up in our face very fast. Okay. I guess we got to shuffle this threat deck. We did add that one card to it, the exhaustion card. And there's no boss here. These are at 0. And we're all set up. All right. I'm going to take 1 second. I will be right back. All right, we are back. This is not the right type of song. Epic love story? No way. We need something like A Tale of Fortitude. We'll try that out. I don't know, our adventure playlist is a little iffy, but let's do it. So, we have shuffled up our threat deck here. Shuffle it a little bit more. And we've got our ant cards, our soldier ants. I wish we had gone the other way and talked to the NPC first. We could run, but generally the ants travel really far. They're probably going to, broadly speaking, like outrun us, you know? So probably we're just going to stand our ground and fight and hope that we don't, that NPC isn't like, oh, I can't believe you killed all my friends. I'm going to kill you now. We'll just hope that doesn't happen. All right. So, foes go first. Here's our threat deck. They gain a threat. That actually reduces their movement, but makes them attack. And we kind of don't want to be adjacent. They attack with giant mandibles, and they do more damage to adjacent targets. So this would be a great opportunity for us to split up, okay? We're not going to worry about our acrobatics. We want to learn that. If we get this down, we're surviving, and they have one guy left, and we have an opportunity to run circles around him, we'll do that at that time. In the meantime, we're going to split up, and we're going to start. We don't have any combo points, which is really sucky. Maybe we just start with our bard, because then we have a much better opening move if we can sneak with our what's his face? I mean, I guess we could move, sneak, and then backstab. There's no reason why we can't do that. Backstab isn't super powerful, actually, because it does in a line vertically. And these guys, we really want to be doing damage kind of across them, as it turns out. Why don't we use our Bard? And we're going to use our Bard. He's going to go first. He's going to move. Okay. He's going to give us 1 combo point. And we're just going to split up just a teeny. Just like that. I mean, we really want to split up more than that. Because these guys are going to try to attack the most targets possible. And if we're 3 apart, we actually still both get hit. I just kind of want to be within range 2. Oh. That is a dashed line right there. What do the dashed lines mean? I don't remember. The dashed ones are obscure, so you can't use ranged attacks through them. So that our ranged attacks are really crappy this time, actually. Okay, well that works out exactly wrong for us. We want to spread out, but like, oof. Okay, well we're just gonna go over here. 1, 2, 3, and we're gonna smack and 4. They're all gonna activate. It's not gonna help us, you know, to whatever, to not hit this guy. So we're largely not going to be able to use our stinger. Is there a world where we do something different here? I don't think so. I don't know that we have good options. Okay, whatever. We're just going to do it. We're going to move over there and we're going to smack this guy in the head. We rolled a 16, so we get the extra damage. This is foe number 4. Okay, so this is a good opportunity for us to strike thusly. Unfortunately, that gives them a threat. Ooh. They have 3 threat, they get mandible plus 2 damage. That's like 1 tap us. That's really yucky. This would be a great time for our stinger to do an exact left to right thing and hit both of those. Basically, we can't actually kill this guy this turn, right? We can hit him again, and we can do, 1 damage to him, but we can't actually kill him. So we just have to not roll a 1. We rolled a 5. We only do 1 damage that way. That's okay. We're gonna hit him there. Bonk. And we're kind of tapped out. So, what do we get from our foe deck? The boss, or threat equal to the number of exiles. We gain 2 threat. They are now going to do that mandible plus 2. It is extremely worse. And the only thing that controls that difficulty is what is your luck of the draw from the deck, basically. Okay, so it's Slake's turn now. Now he can sneak, right? That's a minor action. You're hidden. They think that he is right here. Okay? And he's got 3 movement. We could increase it to 5 with an SP. But I think we can just leave it there. And he's going to put down his traps, right? He's going to trap this ant when the ant comes racing over to attack him. And then that means that he can't attack, or they'll think that, he is where he is, essentially. But what we'll do is we're going to shadow step. That lets us, we can do that for free. If we're hidden, we get 4 movement. So we can go 1, 2, 3, 4, and just kind of run around that guy. And then we can use our last action as a normal move. And that gives us 3 more move. 1, 2, 3. And that way we've kind of hidden ourselves. And we did our loop around. We move in a complete circle around a foe in 1 turn. So we did it. We've mastered acrobatics. And now as a reaction, after one of our actions, we can use, for 1 SP, we can gain 2 movement and gain a combo point. We spent our only combo point on that. We could use that now, but we don't actually have a good place to move. So we're just gonna hang tight right where we're at. All right, mobs activate. Yikes. So they're going to spend 3 threat to do mandible. They're going to try and target as many people as they can. Okay, they get mandible +2, so they do 3 damage with this attack. So this guy's going to walk here, and he's going to take damage from the trap because he is trying to attack this dude. Okay, he thinks that guy's still there. This trap, we're going to roll charisma. We rolled a 10. And we'll do 1 damage. We would really prefer to do 2 damage, right? We would really prefer to do 2. The way that we do 2 is kind of worthless, though. So whatever. We'll do a damage. And then, I mean, we could just make it like, let's spend our RP and we'll do 2. And then he's going to walk onto this next trap, which we're going to roll for. We got an 11. We're not going to pay this time. We're just going to do this. I didn't give him the threat. Okay, so he's got 1 HP remaining. He's going to come over here. He's going to attempt to attack. His attack will whiff, but we are now no longer hidden, which is actually really bad. I didn't think that out. Because this other guy's going to come mandible us, right? He's 4th. He's last to act. Okay, so these guys have what? 5 movement. 2, 3, 4, 5. And he can attack this guy for 3 damage. Yikes. Using the blue die. He hits him. He's almost dead. The sort of peaky nature of combat, where like anything goes wrong and you basically get 1 shot, is not satisfying even a little. Like it's really like, I don't feel like a hero. I don't feel like I'm experienced in combat. I feel like I literally hardly get to play, and then I'm basically scrambling to not die immediately. It's surprisingly unfun. And this guy, 1, 2, 3, 4, and he attacks both of us for 3. So Slake dies here, no matter what, and we half die on our first. Like I played 1 turn with each of them, and then like immediately we lose essentially. So yeah, he hits the spot that neither of us is protected. So Slake's dead. And the other guy is the only guy left, and he gets attacked. And also hits that spot. He has 1 HP left. So we killed 0 ants because, I mean, it is conceivable that we are just unlucky. The weapons that we have and the way the battle system works, we largely can't ever kill anything in 1 turn. It's basically impossible, right? The way that the crits happen and so on, they're just shaped in such a way that we can almost never hit them. Not even if we intentionally like waste our attack or whatever. But like we have done, this is round, the enemy turn 3. We have each taken 1 turn. We had 11 health and we now have 1. And this guy got killed by 2 extra, essentially, right? So I can spend my whole turn healing us potentially. But that will just get us back to where we were if we survive the next round, which we probably won't. If ever they attack us again, we immediately lose. And we need to do a total of, there's another 8, 10, 12 more damage. We've done 6 so far. So we made it a third of the way through the fight, and in 1 attack, we went full to dead. Like we literally, if I hadn't upgraded HP, we would have just immediately lost the first time the enemies did anything. There is no, there is no like room for error in this combat system. And this is just getting back to that thing. If we were playing this with 4 people, 2 of us wouldn't have taken an action yet, but those people would probably still be totally alive, right? Like we would have had just more HP to spread this out because we fight the same number of enemies with, with lesser resources. They take an equivalent number of turns, but the biggest difference is that in theory, we'll get better items. In practice, I don't know that that's true, actually, because when we gained items, everybody in the party gained 1. So, like, literally, it's just more difficult. I don't know. Maybe I'm doing something wrong with the setup here or something. But, like, every single time we get a fight, we immediately get 1-tapped is not a satisfying gameplay loop. And, like, it's happened 3 out of our 4 combats now. It almost happened the one that we won. But I think we're supposed to have all of the enemies each time. But maybe I'm just like screwing that up. I don't know. The way that they have this like set up in here is like really not very referenceable, which is kind of annoying. Like, okay, I don't need to know about all these things. And I don't want you to tell me about the threat deck. I just want you to tell me about setting up for combat, which doesn't. Yeah, we just put them out on the matching squares. That's it. Damn. Okay, so I think I've been resolving the foes correctly, and like it's just extraordinarily hard, basically. Maybe we've been unlucky with the weapons we have and the way we can target these, but it looks like, you know, we can realistically output, you know, a couple, like we could kill one of these reliably every turn if we never roll badly, and we probably lose the game or die on that turn or the next one. So, like, I don't know. Our output is somewhere around, like, you know, we need to be putting out 12 points of damage in order to beat these before they one-tap us. And it's literally impossible, even if we roll natural 20s, for us to do that. I don't know. Anyway, let's die, I guess. So, it's... Oh, it's not even... Oh, it is our bard's turn, because our bard went first. Because that's the thing. Not only do we have to put up... We got half the damage done, but we have to resolve this guy's turn, and he just gets to do nothing, and then the foes go twice for every time we get to take an action for the rest of combat until we heal him. And if we heal him, he'll get a normal turn, but the foes probably get a turn. He probably just dies. Regardless, we will try to heal him and see what happens. So we're going to try... Whoa, whoopsies. That was not helpful. We're going to try an Anthem of Vigor here. This is a minor action. Requires a loot. We get to roll these 2 dice. Match them up with our thing here. We got 1 note that matches. So we heal the same as if we got 0 notes. So that's unfortunate. But we each gain 1 HP. Which means he's not dead. Cool. And we each gain 1 SP. Also cool. And then now I can probably kill this pink guy. The blue guy is at full health and has 8 health on his own. Let's just attack the pink dude. We got a 7. That's okay. We only need to do 1 damage here. So he's dead. We have 1 action left. So probably we want to spread out so at least we don't both take damage if they activate. So we're going to use our gutsy dash. Oh, we don't have any combo points. So no, we're not. Well, standing here, we could heal with our potion or something, but standing here is really bad. So instead, let's just take a move action. We can move up to 3. 1, 2, 3, and we gain a combo point. And then the foes activate. They gain 2 threat. It's Slake's turn. Okay. He has somebody right in front of him. He cannot sneak. This would be a great time for us to do our acrobatics, but it doesn't really help us. Because I think we just got to move away anyways, and there's basically nowhere we can move to. Okay, how can we do this here? There's references for a million things, but not for the thing that I wanted it to be. Okay. I just want to know when I'm hiding. Just has to be an enemy. Okay, no enemies in the squares around me. Okay, so let's do a basic move. Okay, and we are going to pay. Actually, no. Yeah, we're going to pay one. That gives us a combo point. We're going to pay one to use our acrobatics, actually. That gets us 2 more move. Oh, that doesn't let us move enough away. Lets us move to here, because this is a hard spot. Okay, so we're going to actually pay 2. 1 to make our move 5, and then 1 for acrobatics. And that lets us get all the way over to here, which is miles away. We could hide now, but first we're going to throw our kunai, because we got to start hitting this guy eventually, and he's in range 3 of us. So we'll roll for dexterity. We got a 17 plus 1, 18. So we're going to hit 2, 1, and then 2. We might as well just start at the edge here. So we'll get rid of this armor with our first one, and then do a damage to the bottom. We don't want to give them more threat. That doesn't help us really. But our kunai is used up. We can no longer use it for the rest of this combat. And then with our final action here, I mean, we can sneak. We don't have a way to heal, really. If we sneak, then they could come attack us, potentially. We can waste one of their attacks, at least. We'll spend that combo point. We can sneak up to 3. We can move 1, 2, 3 over to here, and they think that we're there. Okay. We did some things. We killed a dude. One guy's dead. One guy's injured. We're lined up so that we can probably kill this other guy, but I think we're going to die soon. Boss, or they gain a threat. So they gain a threat. Okay. So we are bardified. We really owe it to ourselves to end this guy's career before he comes to get us. I don't think we can really position ourselves far enough away that they can't just make it to us every time. They have gratuitously high movement. But what we could do is we could use our move and spend an SP to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm assuming we can't do anything with a point of interest while in combat. I'm going to presume that that's true. No. Okay. So we raced over there with a move action. We have a little bit more combo now. We're going to spend that combo to do a gutsy dash, which lets us move 1 and attack with our Tanto. So we can move there and attack this guy immediately. Okay. We rolled a 15. It's enough to put him down. This guy is now dead. So there's only 2 ants remaining, which means that we're potentially taking a lot less damage. Now, the unfortunate thing is we've put up no damage on any of these other guys, and we're also not in a real position. I could have moved up to 4. I could have saved my SP. I'm retroactively taking that back. They have 4 threat. I could have moved 4 with my gutsy dash. So we have 1 more action, and I feel like they have enough threat that they're doing the big boy mandible where we just die, basically. And I think they can get to us pretty much no matter what. What we can do is we can try, spend some MP. We're going to do a battle riff. Okay? There's a world here where we can reduce the threat enough that they can't do the empowered mandible. Okay, so we rolled and we got 0 notes that match. So we can reduce the threat by 1, which isn't enough to make a difference. But I'm going to use I'm going to react. I failed. I get my improvisation ability now. And I'm just going to re-roll. And I'm going to say that it's fair that I can do both of those things. I react to the 0, but also re-roll. Maybe that's not fair. Maybe it is. It doesn't matter. I rolled 0 still. So across 2 rolls, I got nothing that matches. And that means we reduce threat by 1 only, which is a shame, but what are you going to do? What are you going to do? We tried. All right, so our foes...
Looking like a disaster.
Spend 3 and attack us with mandible +3. This thing is like where almost all the difficulty comes from. If they just attacked us, it'd be fine. +3 is like, oh look, you die. Like both of us will die this turn probably. And I didn't have a way. I could have stood there and healed, but then there would have been an extra guy, and their damage wildly exceeds my ability to block it. Right. And it's random where they attack, and they just happen to constantly be attacking where we don't have any armor. Not that our armor will save us. I'll still die. Each of us will die this turn. Well, I think we just lost. So anyway, all foes activate. Starting with this guy number 2, he's going to try and move into position so that he can hit as many of us as possible. He will attack with the blue die. He, of course, doesn't hit where we have armor, so we take 3 damage and we die. And then the other guy has 5 movement. He's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, he can't. Oh, wait, he attacks in like a row here. Can he attack through that difficult terrain? Melee attacks. Yes, he can. So then he's going to roll, and he hits us where we don't have anything, and we take 3 damage and we lose. Yeah. All right, so we died. Unsurprisingly, we did better than I thought. We killed 2. We killed the 2 easiest opponents. There was another 3rd easy one, and we ever so slightly damaged the thing. So we were the 4th one. So we were less than halfway through succeeding that combat. And like, just broadly speaking, I would say I vehemently disagree with their level system here. The idea of it is like, wow, right? If you're the same level, this should be a fair fight. These don't feel fair, and it is not. It is actively unfun that I'm like trying to make decent choices, and I don't think I'm playing like horrifically poorly. Like maybe I should have just split up at all costs or something to limit damage. There was one time where we took damage on multiple characters in this whole combat. So I don't think like it was that bad, right? But just overall, it feels like if they ever limit break on threat, you immediately lose. If they ever take the better actions, you're probably going to lose. And you don't actually have a good way to manage their threat. Like there's nothing I can do. I did the only ability I have that I can only use twice ever, and it reduced their threat by 1, right? I would need to be reducing it by like 3 or 4 consistently if I wanted to actively manage that. So I have no agency in threat, and if ever things get resolved, I just die. I can't buy gear to upgrade because there isn't any, right? The only thing I can get is a weapon that doesn't actually help me. I could have fled this combat, but by design, I should have a decent chance of winning this. And like, even if maybe I could have strung this together in a way that I won, like each player at the table has had 1 turn, and now you are 1 HP away from losing the combat is not enjoyable. Like there's just, I don't know what else to say it. And it's like, you know, there's things in here for like managing the threat level and stuff. Or like, not managing the threat level, but you can make the game easier, right? But like essentially you take this all foes card out of the deck. It would have made no tangible difference to this. I feel like there's a huge assumption that you're playing this with 4 players. And like, I can't imagine if we played this with 1 player, with just a single character, we would just lose like immediately, right? The first time they activate, we're going to get attacked 3 or 4 times and take more damage than we have health. And there's nothing we can do about it. We have no agency whatsoever. It's not because of RNG or anything, you know? It's just sort of like this doesn't feel like good. Like what's my next step now, basically, right? It's like I got my new skills, but functionally I've hardly grown in power, and it feels like I can just keep banging my head against this scenario, and maybe I'll luck out and kill an ant on the first turn, and then maybe I have a hope of not dying. But that's basically it, right? And other than that, the heck am I going to do to make my way through this? Like, I don't know. Just overall, it feels like I have very few choices, and the combat is tuned really oddly. Like, fundamentally, doesn't it seem weird that a level 2 fight, the most likely single thing that's going to happen is you're going to take damage that's probably pretty close to equal to your health the first turn that the foes activate? That feels bizarre to me as like just a point of balancing. Like, and I'm also like, this is like the second combat we've ever actually done. Like, we're at the very start of the game. Shouldn't these be like relatively easy to get me to like know the combat system and stuff? Not that if the cards are in a bad order, I lose. They have to be in a good order, and I have to be like play around the scenario like without, if I ever make a mistake, guess what, I lost. Like, that feels really odd and really out of place with how the rest of the game is. Solve a riddle, do some open world exploration. Like, the combat just seems extraordinarily punishing to the point that it's like actively not fun. I don't have I wish I had something more clever to say. That's extremely disappointing to me, and it's remarkable to me that it doesn't feel like the only balancing that happened here. The most notable thing about combat, at least in the early game, is whenever the enemies activate, they will hit you for almost all of your health. So it feels that if that's the most noteworthy thing, doesn't it seem strange that there isn't any balancing around character health? Like, I just have less of that. Health is a resource in combat, and I just have less of it than if I had 4 players seated at the table. The combat difficulty does, like, the fact that foes activate more frequently or the same with the same frequency doesn't feel relevant. My total resources is lower. And it's even balanced around where generally they're going to target, you know, people with the highest health. So they're going to like naturally spread the damage out and things like that. I don't know. It just honestly has left a really bad taste in my mouth that I don't know how I can try this again next time. Just like we tried the rats again. But like, this feels like a lot of work. I got to set up the game. I got to get out all these cards. I got to get back to this place. I got to go through this whole scenario. It's going to take me an hour to get here to do a fight that I feel like I have a 10% chance of winning. And I didn't know that this was going to be a fight. I wanted to avoid fights and maybe find other gear to buy or whatever. And I just like, I have to speculate on every action if I want to do that. You know, can I explore this place? Maybe I'll end up in a fight. Better not. That's not a fun way to play either, right? Surely I should be able to do intro fights, get stronger, and like then I can get my ass kicked. I'm fighting a higher level guy and I like overplay my hand, sure, but like what the hell is this? I'm just getting kicked in the teeth. Anyway, the kicking in the teeth will continue, I suppose. It's not going to continue today on stream. I'm going to stop. What I am going to do is before my stream next week, I am going to take a like strong look at the rules here and see if there's something I'm missing about the combat. Maybe I'll take a look on Board Game Geek and see, because it's entirely possible that I'm playing something incorrectly. I would say that they don't make the rules easy to reference. Where they tell you about how to set up the miniatures and whatever is like, 2 sentences in the combat rules are 20 pages long, and they don't tell you anything about setting it up until like halfway through in the middle of everything. And then it's sort of not really about how to do it. It's very odd. But yeah, maybe I got to look back in the quick start guide or something. It feels like there has to be something missing here, because this game is sort of like supposed to be quite approachable. The overworld system, traveling, everything seems easy to execute. And then, oh, hey, you don't have 4 people seated at the table, so you lose. That seems bizarre. So maybe that's a bad read from me. I really hope it is, because I've been enjoying Arydia, but I am not going to continue to play a campaign of a game where if I'm like proceeding with it, I just have to like, it's going to take us, every campaign is going to be, I get through one combat that day, maybe if I'm lucky. No, I'm not spending 3 hours to kill 4 ants. That seems preposterous. So I'm going to give this a good look. I'm going to see if I'm doing something wrong with respect to combat. My best guess is honestly, I don't think so, but I hope I'm mistaken. So with that, we're going to wrap up Arydia here. I'm going to do the saving and stuff. It's very, it's not hard to execute like for a campaign game, but it is just kind of monotonous. So I'm going to do that off screen. I think that we might get something different this time through on the event card, maybe, but I'm not sure. In any case, I'm going to do that off screen so that we can wrap up here, because I went a little bit over time anyway in getting my ass kicked. So with that, let's talk about what's happening the rest of this week. So tomorrow I will be back on... well, hello, goodbye, old man. Yeah, I got my ass kicked. I feel like either there's something fundamentally wrong that I'm doing with combat, which I don't think is true, but is super possible, or this game is just not tuned for having less than 4 players, which I think is extremely likely. I mean, unless I'm making a rules error directly related to that, it isn't tuned for having fewer than 4 players. 4 players just gives you more of the thing you need to succeed at combat. With no disadvantages, only advantages. It would still be hard, I think. But I got my ass kicked. I lost to the rats. I replayed it again and beat them very barely. And now I'm fighting these little ants. And turn 1, I go from 11 HP to one guy's dead and one guy has 1 HP. I don't know. So anywho, rant over. Tomorrow I will be playing Terraforming Mars with Sarah over on YouTube. We're working through all the games in the Board Game Geek Top 100. Terraforming Mars, I think, is currently ranked 7. Of all the games I've ever played in my life, which is hundreds or thousands, Terraforming Mars is the single game that I think is the most overrated. I don't think it deserves to be in the top 5,000 on Board Game Geek. I have played lots of games that are ranked like 7,000, 8,000 that I would play before Terraforming Mars in a heartbeat. It is the most mediocre game I have ever played in my life. Now, I haven't played it for about 5 years, so I hope my thoughts on that have changed. I'm hoping that there's a redemption arc here and that I was actually just an idiot and, didn't appreciate something special about it. But I think that actually there's just nothing special about it at all. It's like if you took every average thing about a board game and made it that, you'd get Terraforming Mars, and average isn't worth playing. But we'll see tomorrow, and we'll see. It'll be interesting to hear Sarah's opinion, because of course Sarah has less experience with board games overall, though still lots, and has never played Terraforming Mars. So it'll be interesting to see. I have to assume the ants aren't so little. I mean, the ants aren't tiny. We got shrunk down to ant size. So there's me or Slake, there's the ant, right? And the ant was like, you know, like roughing us up horribly. Anyway, so tomorrow, YouTube, Terraforming Mars, Redemption Arc, maybe. I hope so. And then Thursday, we've been doing games with Grandma in the mornings here on Twitch and YouTube. This week is tentative. We're not sure if we're going to play. My mom's actually getting hand surgery right now, and she's certain that everything will be great and she'll love to play a game. I'm less certain. So sending positive vibes her way that her surgery goes well and recovery is easy, and we may or may not be here on Thursday. And then this coming Sunday is going to be try number 3 to play Inventors of the South Tigris. I have been very sick. I'm feeling mostly better now, and good God, do I ever want to get that to the table. So that said, we're going to wrap up here. It's like Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. It's true. When mini painting stream? That is a great question. So I'm going to do some mini painting with minis that are better than this. I'm going to get my friend Jared to come help out. He is also a content creator. He goes by Caffeinated Miniatures over on YouTube. You should check him out if you don't already. He's often in chat harassing me. Usually he'd be telling me about how badly I had done. I'm surprised he's not here. I'm surprised he doesn't have some like sixth sense that it's time to jump into chat and, you know, cheer for the ants as they stab me yet again. But Jared is going to come help me out with some mini painting. But we agreed that it's going to happen after Adepticon, which I think is about a month away, a little more than a month, maybe 5 weeks or so. So it will be in April sometime when we do a mini painting stream, and not before. So with that, let's see if we can quickly find a place to raid. God, I feel bad. You know what I really don't like? I want to get better at? I want to get better at expressing thoughts when they're negative, and especially when I'm not having a great experience while playing a game. It's funny because it's like, this happens in real life too. I think that I try to say like, hey, I don't think that this is very fun or whatever. And what people hear is I'm irritated and I drag everybody down with me. And I think that happens on stream too. I feel like if I get in this sort of loop where something bad happened and I'm frustrated, viewership usually falls off a cliff. And I want to get better at managing that. And I don't want to do it by just sort of like not acknowledging that a game is frustrating or difficult or that I'm not having fun. Or I think that that's an important part of it, but I got to find ways to like, you know, get around like communicating that better without it being like overtly negative, you know? I struggle with it a lot. As they say, sucks to suck. It's true. It is true. Time Roller's back with more SETI. He's been playing the hell out of that game. And it looks like that's really our choice if we're looking in the board game category. But let's see if there's you know, we got anything else bizarro that we want to do. A little different. You know what? We're just going to raid Time Roller because it's easy. Call it a day. All right. Raiding into Time Roller. Hopefully we'll have some fun over there with SETI. He has been playing this game a ton, so it must be absolutely glorious because Time Roller rarely plays a game more than once or twice, and like I think every week we've seen him playing this game, so that's pretty cool. Yeah, Arydia. Having mixed feelings about it now. Nothing but pure positivity to date until this was like, I don't want to spend like 100 hours getting my teeth kicked in. So I'm going to revisit the rules. Probably it's a skill issue and I missed some important rule that, you know, affects the balancing here or something stupid like that. But I'm not sure. So I'm going to give this another try next week, obviously. See if I can't dig up some sort of secret that helps make it a little easier for me. Maybe I got to play on beginner family-friendly mode. And I just suck at games. It's also possible. But in any case, we're going to give it another try later. I will see you tomorrow on YouTube in the evening for Terraforming Mars with Sarah. We'll see, is it actually all it's cracked up to be? I say no. Sarah loves Mars as a theme, so she's ready to say yes. So it'll be interesting to see how that goes. And then I may or may not be back on Thursday for Games with Grandma, depending on how things go for my mom this week. So with that, head over to Time Roller, and I'll see you soon. Thanks so much for being here.